Down, down, down. Hey everyone, and welcome to Sorta My Podcast. I'm your host, Vin the Human, Vincent Herman. Sitting to my right,
Shellraiser.
Chelsea Watkins, and sitting to her right,
Mr. Bob Collins, also known as Boba Fett, and straight ahead, sir.
James Odle, also known as Alpha Spectre, and we have our special guest today.
our winner of our runner-up giveaway,
Is our
Mr.
runner-up.
Shane Taylor.
who does not have a cool nickname because we didn't think that far ahead.
Not yet, anyways.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Well, maybe we'll come up with during the podcast. Hey, if the name of our show can change in the middle of the show, during
Suge Knights.
Suge Knights Live.
Now, a little something about this guy. He has been following us on the Facebook page and the podcast from day one. So we're so glad to have him in here with us today.
He's actually a customer at the original Sorta My Comics
Sorta My Comics shop, which is probably why he jumped over onto this pretty quickly. But enough about how awesome our customers and likes on Facebook are. Let's jump right into our group book.
It's a jam-packed episode.
Yeah, we've got a huge one for you. We've got our group discussion. We've got comic books. We've got Comic-Con. We've got trailers galore to talk about. Ghostbusters. We've got everything. So let's jump
amazing,
in.
by the way.
Oh, yeah. Pretty good.
Wouldn't go that far, but it was I enjoyed it.
I don't know. It was pretty good. We'll get to that later, but right now we're going to do Dark Knight Returns, The Last Crusade, which is the latest installment from the Miller saga. What would you call the Millerverse of Batman?
Kind of a spin-off from DK3.
Yeah.
Well, no, the reason why is because, obviously...
Oh, no, this isn't a spin-off.
No, it's not a spin-off at all. It's actually a prequel to The Dark Knight Returns. It just explains what happened with Mr. Todd, which we all kind of know what happens with Mr. Todd.
Yeah, it's kind of your cut-and-dry Jason Todd story. He doesn't really take too many leaps or make claim on the character really at all. But at the same time, it's really cool. I had one small issue with it, and that is I think Bruce Wayne's too broken down in this book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he suffers for way too much from his aging to make up for how agile and shit he is way later on.
When he's in his 50s.
I like it. I like that aspect because it really did show the mortality of Batman.
It's not that it's a bad aspect. It's that it's a bad point in time. It's
in the timeline.
Because
by the time he would get to that age, he would be probably dead.
There's 20
this
years
is only Robin number 2. He has 2 more Robins to train.
Well, no,
not necessarily in the Millerverse.
We've never heard of Dick Grayson, and as far as we know,
they reference Dick.
Not Dick Grayson. I mean Tim Drake.
Tim Drake.
We've never heard of Tim Drake in the Millerverse yet, and I don't think there is a Damian.
Well, yeah, because Carrie Kelly becomes one of the Robins later.
Yeah. She becomes Batgirl.
Well, she becomes Robin, Catgirl.
Oh yeah,
or Catwoman.
Yeah, she does. She does
Catgirl.
a few different things. But
Dark Knight Strikes Again was a weird book.
Yeah. So no, I don't think there really is much of anything there to make up for why he's so broken down, because, like Bob said, he'd be dead by the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
He would be like Kingdom Come Batman with the friggin' big metal apparatuses that help him walk around.
Exoskeleton, essentially.
Yeah, his big exoskeleton.
I still liked it because some of the combat scenes you see, like his internal
monologue.
Oh, I loved that.
This hurts, can't breathe, this or whatever. But then
that's
him
been
push
a running
through
thing
it.
throughout the Millerverse anyway. I mean, the internal monologue is a big part of the stories. And it gives you a in-depth look of what's inside Bruce's mind and how he's feeling. Like, he talks about Dark Knight Returns, like he's getting old, like he's getting too slow, man. Like, he talks shit to himself sometimes to help kind of motivate him throughout some of the harder patches that he's going through. But yeah, it's kind of been a running thing throughout the Millerverse anyway, is that heavy internal dialogue.
Yeah. So what did you guys like about the book the most?
I can tell you what I disliked about the book the most.
Getting back to dislikes.
Well, I mean, just real quick.
I
like
my biggest thing. It's JR. But like at the same time, it fits Miller's style.
I think JR is not. This is more top
This is some of his better work.
I don't know, man.
This is top Romita, I think.
Compared to like some of the covers that he recently
what's been released
did?
so far for All-Star Batman is what I've seen so far is the best Romita I've seen.
Really? I don't like
But
that cover at all.
Look at Joker's face there. To me, it's just really goofy, and he can't draw feet for shit.
I like how brutal.
He did all right on the
was.
cover.
They look extremely wide.
Yeah,
But what I like,
Jason Todd, fuck shit.
yeah, what I like is since this is an alternate universe, and obviously Jason is always kind of the hothead for the most part anyway, but it shows how brutal he was in this universe, which to me fits the Millerverse because everybody's so fucking brutal in this one.
Because in the scene where Bruce and Jason are training, like you see Jason get the upper hand and take Bruce down and get cocky about it.
Yeah.
And he's one of the few Robins that has always been cocky.
See, and I love that because like the whole time that's going on, and like he's saying like the part where they think that Poison Ivy has something to do with it, and the guy's like, I'm doing this to show my love for her. That whole part, like when he could have stopped the gun out of his hand, but he just like
throws the batarang straight in.
You see Batman's inner dialogue. You see his inner dialogue, and he's like,
and then he turns to him and he's
brutal,
like, "You could have just knocked the gun out of his hand." I could have.
Yeah.
like, and he just, I loved it.
Such
It's Selena Kyle. Can I just say Selena Kyle?
Between him and Damian Wayne.
Oh, that's another like 20. Well, okay, no, it's been
But
20
just
years. It may like the aging makes sense. Never mind.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem.
But they are adorable.
Yeah.
But I do
As
like
they
how they
should
did
be.
touch
The
into
banter.
it. They did touch because they brought it up in Dark Knight Returns, and obviously Catwoman played a part, or Selena Kyle played a part during the story. But it did show a little bit of their history, a little bit of the reason why she's the one.
And that's why I love these things. People are saying like a lot of people are saying like there's too much. It's like okay, so we've got the friggin' Dark Knight 3 going on, so now it's time for this book to come out and all the little inserts and stuff. I'm like, no, there's a lot of his universe that has not been fleshed out yet.
Yeah.
I like seeing
Like,
this shit.
Some of the Joker stuff was great. Like the scene right here, he's telling the joke, and he's telling a joke in the prison, and talking about the guy whose neck was broken when he was born, but then they fixed his neck, so he was. And he won't deliver the punchline to everyone in the cafeteria, and they go insane.
Yeah.
Until he
Granted, of course, they're all insane anyway.
Yeah, until he steps into the cell and he says the punchline in there.
What did you like best about the book? Where are you at with it?
I really liked it. I mean, I didn't really follow much about the Dark Knight itself, but whenever I skimmed through this and I read it, I really liked the points that it brought across.
Such as?
Like how brutal Robin is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And how much restraint that Batman is trying to teach him.
Yeah.
Well, and then how much restraint Batman shows
in
comparison
I love that
to
relationship.
Robin.
I just love it.
Yeah.
Restrained, but
I mean, how he says he's better than he was when he was his age.
Still ruthless.
Yeah.
I want to know, is there a Red Hood in Miller's universe?
As of right now, no.
Yeah, like
But I mean,
that's
there
the
could
thing.
be.
But again, yeah, it hasn't been
could lead
fleshed
into
out.
it.
Yeah,
I love that we finally see Killer Croc in Millerverse, and I like his backstory. I like his.
He was pretty cool.
Yeah.
He's quite a bit different than what we're used to as far as Killer Croc goes.
Yeah.
But
I like
still brutal.
And
so brutal.
It's not just Croc.
This is, but this is definitely more of pretty much what's in the new Suicide Squad movie. It's more of like a humanoid with a skin disease and such, rather than an actual Croc.
It's a little bothersome that they glanced over Poison Ivy.
Yeah, I was really kind of upset about
I dig
that.
seeing her in it though.
But it just goes to show he's like, it's his way of saying this Poison Ivy is pretty much the same.
Yeah,
it's the same damn Poison Ivy.
Yep.
So.
Nothing changed.
Sometimes you can't.
You'll love her. Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay, so end result. Would you suggest this to our readers? It was $6.99. I think it's a good buy.
Well, it's $6.99 because it's more in the prestige format, and just like all the Dark Knight. Yeah, just like all the Dark Knight stories.
I mean, it's even got the title and stuff on the spine, so it fits in well with your graphic novels, your other Millerverse stuff.
Like I like it,
especially if you enjoy the Millerverse and Dark Knight Returns or even just Dark Knight Returns and not Strikes Again, DK3, even All-Star Batman and Robin, which is tied into the Millerverse. Yeah, definitely. Like I recommend it.
What were you saying?
Yeah. I said that I liked it, but I know that I was like when I first sat down to read it, I had a little bit of trouble getting through it, and I don't know if it was just because it was like, I mean, I wouldn't say it was dragging, but it's kind of like anticlimactic. There's like really nothing like
a little slow.
That was
yeah,
me.
it's a little slow. And I love comic books. And I love them for everything, even when they're slow or I don't want them too quick, you know. But like I had such a hard time, and I didn't understand why I was like just kind of chugging along through it. But I do love it a lot. I would definitely recommend it.
To me, that's sometimes just Miller's writing.
I was gonna say, I didn't really notice it.
It has been a while since I've read a Miller.
Well, for me, honestly, it was the complete opposite. I feel like it felt a little rushed because they try to pack in a lot into just a one shot.
Yeah.
And like
I'm
you
gonna
said,
be pissed though if this is why we've been waiting on all these issues of Dark Knight 3.
Yeah.
Like,
that's
this
gonna piss me
one,
off.
Like, come on.
Because I was definitely more interested in Dark Knight 3's story rather than
Honestly, I feel like I'm the perfect example of being the first reader, or not like being the first reader, but reading this type of book for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you're not familiar with the Millerverse and stuff,
No.
right?
Yeah. So this is you're jumping into the pool here.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
Cool. So what did you think for your first like Miller read?
I really enjoyed it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. If you really
it kept
enjoyed
me
this,
very intrigued throughout the whole entire book.
then you'll definitely like the actual Dark Knight Returns novel.
I'll
That's
let you
like
borrow
top
sometime.
tier. Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch gears into our weekly books, or bi-weekly books, I guess, because of the podcast schedule. We're going to start off with Chelsea. Chelsea, what were you reading?
I decided to read something a little goofy this time. It was Deadpool and the Mercs for Money. It came out on the 20th. And there's many covers. On the cover, it's just pretty much Deadpool and 6 other people that you don't really care about. But they're pretty, I mean, like, they're just kind of like,
But there's
There's
Deadpool.
there's like Fool
But
Killer
Deadpool.
and some dude who always talks in Spanish.
Yeah.
yeah, that's Massacre.
Oh,
I don't-
okay.
So you got Deadpool, of course. You got Solo, and he's this guy that has teleportation abilities. He's like an army special forces guy that can teleport. And then you got Slapstick, which looks kind of like a cartoon clown, kind of terrifying looking, and like can do like contortions and like can
Reject
make
freakazoid.
weapons like come from like the air. Like
Who's
thin
that one
air.
guy with the green hair? Who's a Batman villain?
Is it Stephen Harmon Slapstick? Because that
No, it's not
Okay.
Slapstick. It's
that's who he is. guy here.
God, the Jester? Is it? It's not the
Oh no
Jester.
no no! What
This
is
is
it, like
guy.
Creeper?
I mean,
The
Jo-
Creeper.
Creeper,
Yes,
the
it's the
Creeper, yeah.
Creeper.
He has, like, yellowish
It's like a
skin.
reject
Yeah.
Creeper.
Oh no.
That's it. I mean, Joker has green hair.
Yeah, but
He's awesome though. I love him. Okay, anyways, then there's Fool Killer, and all Fool Killer is just like a smart ass
He's a mercenary.
that's a therapist sometimes.
Yeah.
And then Massacre, who only speaks Spanish. Good thing I knew Spanish. Because I was like, what is he saying? And then Terror, who's like this green, disgusting, like, decaying person thing. That's
Terror
creepy.
has been a character in the Marvel Universe for a while
Uh-huh. I like it though.
I'm not familiar with him outside of
He
these
absorbs
books.
knowledge and abilities. His non-consensual organs / limb donors. And then Stingray, which looks ridiculous. So, this starts in a bar in Ciudad Juarez. And all you see is Deadpool just, having these suspicions, and he's just talking to someone. You don't see that someone. He's just like, well, he's like, I don't know. I think they're going to kill me. I think they're going to do a mutiny. And I've been trying to be a good leader, and it's not working out. And then the next page turns, and you see that it's actually Domino who's talking to this whole time. And Domino's trying to give him advice and giving him shit.
I like that they're bar buddies.
Yeah, I love that. That whole,
Goddamn
it's definitely,
Domino.
bar bros, definitely. And so, they're sitting around talking, and then all of a sudden, Massacre busts in. And in Spanish, he says, for roughly, that, hey, we gotta go. Our objective's coming up. So he's like, okay, well, stick around, bye, thanks. Oh, gosh. And the next thing you see 6 of them, all crammed in this, looks like an ice cream van. It's like an air conditioning van, though, but it's just all of them shoved in here. And I already said, Terror is one of those people that, are literally decaying, and he smells horrible. And Deadpool smells horrible. So they're all complaining, and the whole time, Fool Killer is scouting and looking in the window of this house because their job, this whole thing, the whole reason they're getting money. Some company, which you'll know later, hired them to go find these people, these targets that could or could not be radioactive, to kidnap them, well, quote, quote, and take them back unharmed to their lab.
Okay.
For big money. They're like, it should be easy. Well, they're trying to figure out, the target is a teenage girl. Just a regular teenage girl, long black hair, talking on her phone, laying on her bed. So they're like, this will be easy. So they get out of the car. They're like, why is it a kid? We're going to kidnap, we didn't sign up to kidnap a child, blah, 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 blah. He's like, don't worry. Because I know who it is. It's Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Oh, God. Yes. Nice. Oh.
And so...
Didn't see that coming.
None of them know, but Deadpool kind of knows, but no one else knows what they're getting themselves into. So they think it's going to be real easy. And, so, Fool Killer busts in. He's like, don't move, you won't get hurt, come with us. Well, being an idiot, she, swish, and teleports away. And where'd she go? And she's sneaking away. And then Terror grabs her, and she gets out of that. And then Solo grabs her, and then she does Taekwondo and kicks him across the room.
Holy shit, I didn't know she was this
And
well trained.
2 years of Taekwondo at the Recplex is about to ruin your day. Surprise, jackass. And so they're still going. And he has teleportation, so he's trying to teleport as fast as she's doing it, but it's not working. Ends up kicking him across the room. Then Stingray thinks to grab her, throws him across the room. Like, no one is doing anything good at all. Terror decides to pull out a taser and taser, thinking that's going to work. Doesn't work. Kicks him in the face. And all you see in the next scene is that she's like, you ruined everything. And she just starts walking out the door. But before she did, Fool Killer puts a gun to her head and tries to do that. And then, no one else has learned yet that you can't just go up to her and try to, choke her or touch her. That's not going to happen. So he gets kicked out. He gets kicked in the ass. And then she walks outside. And the only one who's talking to her sensibly is Deadpool. Massacres is sitting there with his thumbs up because he doesn't understand any English whatsoever. So all he said was, he said, hey, you're a Negasonic Teenage Warhead, it's big, it's mouthful, blah, blah, blah. He's pretty much asking her nicely that to come with him because it'd be for her own good. And so she shocks him, of course. And he's still like, don't worry, I'm not leaving you behind. We're going to get through this. And she's like, okay. So she thinks, she's like, fine, I'll come with you, I'll surrender or whatever. And so he just takes her. She agrees to get in the car. People are being smartasses to Deadpool again, especially Slapstick. And then she's just sitting there. Deadpool goes into this monologue where he thinks that he starts talking about how he's just keeping them safe, which made me think that maybe they told him something different, that we're just keeping them safe and keeping them protected, because he's like, they're just gonna do monitoring and observation, we're not supposed to ask questions, we're just get dangerous individuals and save them. And so they're all confused because no one told them. They get to, before they leave, she destroys her house. Gone. And one of the last scenes is the Umbral Dynamics drop point.
Uh-oh.
Uh-huh. And they come here with the girl, and everyone's like, well, here you are, I got her, and, she has full of radiation, maybe I should be careful. He's like, no, she's not full of radiation yet. The suits are just a precaution, and she's our problem now. And just, literally, even Deadpool says, I did a bad thing since Tingling. Because he feels like he did something real bad. And so it's like, don't worry, she's in good hands, blah, 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 all that, just making him feel better. He tries to ask questions. They bitch at him for asking questions. And Massacre he speaks the most this last page. And pretty much he's telling how we need to be a better team, we need to work together, how if we don't rely on each other, things go bad, it's important to rely on each other, things like that. And he's like, yeah, I totally get what you're saying. Doesn't get what you're saying. So the last thing he says is, "All right, miserable pukes, asses and elbows. Judging from your previous performance, I've been going too easy on you. I want to see some hustle. We're not dealing with a child this time. Just remember why we're doing this. We're trying to do some good, to help these people, get the care they need." And the last scene you get is them torturing her.
Torturing Negasonic?
Yes.
Wow.
You see she's lost all her hair.
Cancer?
No, 2007 Britney Spears.
Just protecting
her.
Meltdown.
I was thinking more like
Kept getting that
V for
taxi,
Vendetta.
showing her
The
vagina. It was
hair.
The
bad.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead had a meltdown.
Yeah, so that was to be continued, and this is next target. And they gave me this, which I don't know, but it's a radioactive man. But I'm excited to see it.
Is that the cover?
I doubt it.
That sounds
That'd
like
be
a,
awesome.
It looks awesome.
that
But yeah,
sounds
so
like a fun
this
book.
was a fun book. This was something that like just something for me to laugh and just have a good time. And a lot of the lingo was really funny, and a lot of back and forth between Solo and
Now, was that a number one?
yes, that was
Okay.
001.
See, they did Merch for Money not too long ago. And
Uh-huh.
I think it was a mini series. I read the first issue of that and thought it was crap.
Oh, so is this not that same
This
series?
is no.
Nope.
See, this is what kind of confuses me about Marvel sometimes.
Yeah,
So
And I love the art too, because they have variant covers, and the variant covers are so awesome.
And they're about to do another one of those situations where they're about to do
Bring back
that
Spider-Man
one.
Renew
It's
Your
definitely my
Vows.
favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And they
missed out on
just
getting
did
that.
Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, and it's not Spider-Man Renew Your Vows.
So
2.
mad about that.
And they have the massacre,
Of course, they
cover,
gotta
and
have
have
The
a
that.
blank
action
one.
figure.
and then they have a.
That's the one I've seen on the shelf.
Which
Yeah,
I love.
I've seen that one.
I
think
love it.
that's
And then they
the
tell
regular
you
cover.
right before you start
Tell
any
you
of
who
it, they tell you
everyone
how
is.
everyone is and kind of like
That's-
funny things.
That's
Like,
what they used to do in comics, and that's one thing like
Yeah.
that or the
The roster.
C
it's
issue,
funny
whatever.
though. It
They do it
says
for Civil War,
Deadpool
too.
Canadian
Yeah.
smells like rotting flesh. Took a bath in a deep fryer.
That's what a lot of
Yeah.
Marvel books do anymore. If it's not like a specific book, like
Love it.
Spider-Man,
Love
you
the
know who
art.
Spider-Man
Yeah,
is.
you
But like
kinda
things
know
like
what
the
you're getting
Avengers or X-Men, it'll let you know who's been a part of the story so far and who's on which team.
Yeah.
I loved it. I'm a huge Negasonic Teenage Warhead fan, and I'm definitely a Domino fan. And after I saw them, I was like, "Ooh, I hope they're gonna be in there more." So
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
That's
I'm
what to
definitely,
keep up with.
yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep up with this, and you guys should definitely go out and get it. 'Cause I am.
And if something
Friday,
finds Scotty
when I
Young
get paid.
cover, send it to me.
All right, Bob. Let's move on to yours. How do you say this?
I don't know,
book's
that's
name?
one thing.
Avatar X.
That was going to be one of my little like public service announcements before this. Is like this is coming from a company called Graphic India, and from what it seems, especially how they show like the covers of books in the back of this issue, is that this is an India-based comic company, and like all their characters, are Indian, dots not feathers, and so what else? I had to clear that up.
kind of.
I'm just gonna call it
Mhm.
Avatar Rex.
Okay, it's either Avatar X or Avatrex. Avatar X.
Ava Tarek.
The way that
Oh my
Sam
God,
pronounced it
there's so
was
many ways to
Avatar
say
X.
this.
Okay, so guys at the comic shop was pronouncing it Avatar X.
Yeah.
All right, that's what I'm going to call it from here on out. So it's probably going to be wrong, and then some of the characters' names in here, I might completely screw up.
Probably.
But yeah. The title of this is Avatar X: Destroyer of Darkness, and it's written by the one and only Grant Morrison, and an artist name. I'm probably going to fuck this up.
There's no
Javon
Jeff
J.
Johns,
Kang. But the art in this book is really good. It kind of transfers from some of your more traditional, like current, like modern art to there's some scenes in here where it looks like it's from like an 80s crazy sci-fi movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's very
that's cool.
psychedelic
Very
and
trippy.
like yeah. Well, it starts out. You get this internal monologue or this voiceover. Instantly, you kind of figure out that it's some kind of machine or some kind of program talking, and we find out the name of this program is called Shambhala. And what it's
Sounds
saying,
very Indian.
it is very, very.
They might shun them.
And what it's saying is that the time has come, and the time of the 10th has come, and they need to awaken their warrior, their white horse, their destroyer of darkness. And there's this panel here with various. There's animals and like it looks like a warrior and some weapons. I'm assuming these are all the other gods.
Hindu-ish.
Yeah,
Hindu gods or something.
because what this character is, he's
Deities of
some form of god, but he's a warrior of the gods and protector of, everything.
Hercules would be-
And once he's awoken, he has like this armor and all his weapons and stuff kind of melt onto him in this like
That's fucking
very
cool.
like
trippy Grant Morrison way, you know.
It's liquid gold.
And the internal or the voiceover has been kind of like building up like this is the darkest days. There's a darkness that swept the earth that we need to awaken this warrior to pretty much like fight back and diminish it. And once he's awoken, is completely armored up with his weapons. He asks when can he start, and Shambhala replies back with that it's already commenced. That there's darkness that shrouds the earth, and he's like, all right, well, pretty much like I'm ready to do this. Let's go. And she's like, no. You're not ready yet. You have an arrogance. You have like you're too ready for war without pretty much having a humanity to you. So instead of just letting him go and wreak havoc, which is pretty much what he wants to do, and because he's very egotistical, like super warrior type, she tells him that he's going to be tethered to a human. He needs to know, like where he can gain some humanity and humility, mortality, he has to fight for this human. He has to fight for this champion. So he always has to be tethered to this champion. If not, he loses his powers. Like, being away from him was kind of like the opposite of Superman with kryptonite. You know what I mean? Like, once he gets around him and is able to make physical touch with him, it empowers him more and it causes his
Kind of
powers
like the opposite of Hancock.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was the first thing that popped in my head, but I was like, yeah, I'm not going to bring up Hancock. But one thing that Avatar X, while he's talking about how he's this great warrior, he kind of trails off and he's like, wait a minute, what became of the gods? Like, while I was sleeping, while I was in my, I'm not sure, not really coma, but what do they call that? Where they
Cryo sleep?
Yeah, pretty much like a cryo sleep. He's like, what happened to the gods while I slept? And Shambhala replies back that they forgot that they were all gods. Which reminds me a lot of there's a book that's now being made into a show called American Gods. And it's kind of that same concept, is that the gods have forgot to be gods.
Huh.
While it's telling you all that, you see a rocket, or what seems like a comet, coming towards the Shambhala. And the Shambhala is actually like, it looks like a big space station almost. Once it hits, there's these, I'm not really sure if it's a robot, a cyborg creature. It's on fire, has cannons, like 3 arms, and I don't really know what that is.
It's a great force.
But it's from a force, which this darkness force that's called the Hydra Void.
It kind of reminds me of the thing from Interstellar.
Yeah.
The big.
I haven't watched Interstellar.
Oh, you should see it.
Well, I think we've discussed this like 3 different times in the podcast. You brought it up. I'm like, I haven't watched it. Watch it. I will. And I never have. So we have a few panels here of Avatar X and this Hydra Void robot thing fighting. And while they're fighting, this thing drops some kind of explosive device and detonates on the Shambhala and to take it out. While Avatar X is trying to pretty much destroy this machine thing, he just says hell with it, throws him into what I'm assuming it's the sun or a star. But from where they're so close to Earth, I'm assuming it's supposed to be the sun.
No.
And once he throws him in there, he realizes the Shambhala is falling to Earth, so he's trying to stop it. He rushes into it and pretty much does a Superman, trying to hold it back while it's falling onto a wedding that is in India. Come to find out, who's getting married is the human that he's supposed to be tethered to. They mentioned his name earlier. I didn't even look into it because I will not pronounce it properly, so I'm not even going to try. But you have a few panels of the cousin of the groom sitting at the bar getting hammered, and a girl that he knows walks up and is kind of talking to him like, I mean, you're missing the whole ceremony. Why don't you come and sit and watch it? Like, why are you sitting here on your own? And then he kind of goes into, because I don't want to see my perfect brother getting married, because then next my mom's going to get me married, la-di-da. And then she just looks like she trails off and starts ignoring him and asks what that sound is. And they look up and it's Avatar X and this fucking spaceship that's essentially become a high-velocity comet plummeting right towards the bride and groom. And he screams to them, tells them that, he can't hold it, run for your lives, like. And then once it hits and he gets up, he's trying to get up, but he's already lost so much power from trying to stop this falling ship. And he's saying that if he doesn't make contact with Rishi, is this guy's name, Rishi. I'm assuming it's Rishi. Close
Sounds
enough.
right.
Yeah. He said if he must make contact, and if he doesn't, it's going to end. It's going to end. It's going to be the end of him, the end of the age, the end of everything. And you kind of see almost like a what is that painting where it's like Jesus and God and
is it? No, it's not David.
no, I don't know.
Sistine Chapel.
Yeah, the Sistine Chapel one where the
Oh,
fingers they're almost touching. It's almost that scene like they're just about to touch. Because if not, he's going to diminish. And the very last page is another giant Hydra Void creature thing dropping down, snatching up Rishi and saying greetings from the Hydra Void, to be continued. Yeah, I know I rushed through that pretty quickly, but honestly,
That
I was
sounds
trying
pretty
to
good.
because we have a jam-packed episode.
Yeah.
But especially if you're a fan of Grant Morrison, it definitely feels like this is going to be a big build-up to such a deep and heavy story. It was for Morrison. It was actually an issue one that didn't confuse the shit out of me. Like the basics were laid out.
Had a
He's not
pretty
playing
solid
games with
linear
this.
No,
story.
he's not.
Straightforward.
And yeah, this is I like how Morrison's been going more towards these independent publishers more than the big two or even like Image and stuff. He's been going to like almost unknown publishers. It actually shows a preview for 18 Days. It's another Morrison story that's on issue 13. That he's going through
that
the
looks
same.
cool.
Yeah, I've been seeing it at the shop, but
Looks very
it's so far.
samurai-esque.
I bet you can find the first
Well,
couple
it's
trades.
all
Well,
yeah. I think they have 2 trades out now. Yeah, it's definitely a recommended read for me.
Sounds cool. I
The
like
art was
idea.
amazing, and yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this. I'm like,
The art is very 90s.
it is.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's very 90s. It's pretty cool. I like the idea of this new like space god hero.
Yeah, and I like a lot of. I mean, granted, I like Morrison writing for Superman and Batman and all these
Yeah.
established characters, but I love his own creations because this is actually a character that's created by Grant Morrison. It wasn't
Yeah. I
anything
love that.
established prior.
All right, moving on. We're pretty much switching gears all to DC here. Odo's gonna kick this off with Nightwing Rebirth.
yeah. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a big Nightwing fan. Dick Grayson, love me some Dick.
He loves the dick.
And we've
In
got
or around his mouth.
He's
our
got
boy
dick all
back in
over his
blue.
walls.
It's in his
Dude,
heart.
So-
there's actually
so-
a big dick right next to his
There
face
is.
right now.
There's a giant dick on the wall here. But this is a red dick, but now we got blue dick back.
It's a little furry. He's been over there rubbing it.
It's nice and soft.
Yeah.
Blue Dick's been out of commission for a while, so
Yeah, it's time to bring back the blue dick.
Mystic Dick and Valor Dick.
Oh, Lord.
no,
I
we
did
did
that
not
for you,
do
Vin.
that
I
shit.
did that for you.
Oh.
All right, so we start. This all takes place after the events of Grayson, where he's currently the secret agent, Agent 37.
Agent 37.
And this is happening like he retires from being a secret agent. I haven't got caught up, but apparently a lot of shit happens in Grayson.
I missed some shit.
But like this opening page, he's fighting these 4 very colorful, almost circusy looking guys, and he's talking about Nightwing and where the name came from, how it was a friend of Superman's from.
I thought it was he was one of the gods from Krypton. There was
Well,
Nightwing and like Firebird.
yeah,
or something.
it was Flamebird, because it says
Flamebird.
right here, Big Blue told me about these legendary heroes from his home
Or, yeah,
planet,
maybe.
Nightwing and Flamebird, and he goes on to say what Nightwing stood for. It was the great rebuilder, the catalyst of change, eternally reborn to start anew.
See, I did not know that.
Well,
about,
see, it's
I did
funny.
not know his name was of Kryptonian origin.
Yeah. I actually, when we were up at Inner Geek and I saw that new Teen Titans trade that
Yeah.
covered the Nightwing reveal,
Yeah.
I went in there and looked as he's putting on the suit and read the panels, and it even goes into detail about Nightwing from
Nice.
Krypton
There.
on there.
They're trying
And that's
to
where it
get
was.
people in the know.
Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
So he's talking about that. He's like, you know, I've lost the name Nightwing because what happened in the New 52 Nightwing book is he was unmasked and Dick Grayson
he
was
was
supposedly
publicly-
killed.
Hmm.
And that's when he went undercover, became Agent 37. So he's now coming essentially back out of retirement from being an agent. Now he's Dick Grayson again.
So does it? since he was publicly revealed as Dick Grayson being Nightwing, how is he rebuttaling that now? Or is it just kind of like, since we kind of like did a slight reboot, we're just gonna
Well,
throw that to
I
the
don't know,
side
because
and
it touches on how he was revealed as Dick Grayson.
Yeah.
But now Dick Grayson is now his secret identity.
since Dick Grayson is supposed to be dead, so they're just assuming that the general public be like, well, this is just a new guy that took up the mantle of Nightwing. Okay,
But
I get it.
what's great is, like, the next page we go into, Dick and Damien are at an arcade. Of all places, they're at an arcade. They're playing a game called Apocalypse Now. And Dick gets 14th place and puts in his full name, and Damien's giving him crap, saying, you know, you only need to put your initials in for placing, right? And so they're talking, and Dick's like, you know, it's actually, it feels good to have a secret identity that's actually a secret again. And so they're talking how when he was in the circus, his parents would take him to the arcade. Sometimes it was to cheer him up if he did really bad, or as a reward if he did really good. But it sounds like he got taken to the arcade a lot. But now he's there with Damien, and Damien walks up to a game called Cheese Viking.
I was about to mention that. I'm looking at it over here. I was like, that's so funny.
And he says, face my wrath, Gorgonzola troll. So
Yes.
Damien's getting into this goofy video game. And, you know, but he's asking him, he's like, because he can see that something's bothering Dick. He's like, is it female trouble? Perhaps Helena Bertinelli from Spiral? And he's saying, well, it's not my usual female problem. And Damien asks him, do you think she'll keep in touch? He's like, I don't think so. She's got a lot on her mind. And we go to when Dick is leaving Spiral. It's actually a school for girls is the front for Spiral, of all things.
Of course, they would put Dick Grayson in a school.
Oh no, there are some panels in Grayson where, like, he's just running through the trees without a shirt on. All the girls are swooning over him, and
I'd be right there.
It's-
It's essentially
Running
DC's
away.
James Bond.
Yeah.
yeah.
I know.
Espionage.
But he's walking up to
Spy.
Helena's door to say bye, and he says, you know, I'd like to see you before I go. And she says, give the girls my sincerest apologies, former Agent 37. So you can tell she's bitter about him leaving.
Mm-hmm.
She says, I'm feeling a bit under the weather. I'm just not in the mood to show my face. And she is suited back up in her huntress gear
Nice.
instead of being an agent. So,
Which you're going to see her in
Batgirl and the Birds of Prey.
Oh, I can't wait.
because it even has a little note down here.
Does it? Nice.
To see Huntress in action, read Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. So we see her suited back up, putting her nice little crossbow back on her wrist and all that. So, and he's talking a little bit about when Helena first recruited him, he didn't anticipate the little romance that they would have and all that. But we go back through, and he starts talking about, Dick goes back to talking to Damien about his, like, different friends or so that he had within Spiral, one of which was Agent 1, Tiger King. And we see a mission that they're on. They're kind of going back and forth. And, like, Tiger King is giving him shit, talking and saying, you rookies are almost as useless as Agent 37. And, just, he's like, thanks, and all that. But as Dick is about to leave, he asked if one of the rookies was able to look into an item for him, and it's supposed to be in Japanese, and it's an all pink person, which really threw me off because I thought it was an android at
I
first.
thought it was like a skinned person.
Yeah,
When I
like-
glanced over.
Because it kind of looks like it would be like a robot or an android or something. And he says, you know, I wasn't able to comply with your request, even with my advanced engineering capabilities and all that. And he's like, thanks anyway, gotta catch a flight. And jumps off the side of a building onto this, like, hover craft thing flying away. And he's like, I'll miss you guys, especially you, Tony, talking to Tiger King. And he's like, I told you not to call me that.
That's funny.
And, you know, he was saying that the air was my first home, but my second is, and we go to Wayne Manor.
Yay.
And they're walking in, and Dick's like, I always forget how good it is to see this old place. And Damien's giving him shit, be like, maybe sometime you can invite your spy friends over for tea. So he starts talking about the Man in Black, referring to Midnighter, who initially started out as Dick's enemy in Grayson, but then they kind of became what he refers to as arch frenemies or nemesisters.
I like that one.
But he's like, yeah, I'm sure I'll see him around. And over here we see one of the many adventures they had together, with this one in the Swiss Alps, taking down a unicorn beast.
Ooh, it looks like a unicorn yeti.
It's very Lisa Frankish meets big time monsters.
They call it Project Killicorn. And
That's funny.
Midnighter says they're not even trying to name these things anymore. So what's going on is there's a place called the Garden, which is kind of a space station up in space instead of
In
the
the
ocean.
sea.
It's called the God Garden, and so they're taking this beast there, and Midnighter hands him this item that he says should take care of what you need it to. And you know, he says, now go back to being a superhero, you're too nice for spy work. And we have our nice ad section with a Snickers ad that has Wonder Woman as Doomsday.
And Batman gives her a Snickers.
Batman gives her a Snickers.
Are they just insinuating that she's like on her period and she needs chocolate because if not she's going to be a big giant monster? Because that's sexist, and you know that's sexist.
That's what it is. Shut up.
That's how they arouse.
But the comment, you should see what Robin gets like when he's hungry.
When Robin goes on his period.
That's sexist.
So after the ads, we have Dick and Damien sitting down in the Batcave. He says, sit still, I took you out for cheese Viking. And Damien's like, I knew that was a trick. He's like, I can't believe you didn't tell me the Parliament of Owls planted a bomb in my skull when they took over Gotham. So, like, he didn't tell him because he knew that he would try to get it out, and he can't keep his fingers out of his nose as it is. So they're just giving each other shit back and forth. So he shoves this thing up Damien's nose, and it gets a bomb out. And then
Like Total Recall style.
Yeah. From off panel, we see someone say Damien, and it's Batman saying that. He's like, what is going on? And he says...
He's using his dad voice there.
Yeah.
Just using the dad.
So,
oh, man.
Dick says, Batman, the gardener's device worked better than anything Cyborg could have even made it. And Batman, I feel like it's very nonchalantly says, oh, you got the explosives out?
Just like,
Which pisses off Damien even more. He's like, what? You knew too? Outrage! So they're talking about the Parliament and how they did that to Damien because of Nightwing. And, you know, Batman's telling him, you know, it's not your fault. I'm not angry. Don't even think that.
Aww.
And we go over to Greece, where Lincoln March is standing talking to the Court of Owls, where they're all in their white masks, and he's talking to them, saying today is the day of the Parliament of Owls, and they all take off their masks and drop them, and he's saying we will be more invisible, hidden in the shadows, and a bolt, like a small crossbow bolt, goes through this Talon's eye.
Mm-hmm.
And he drops down dead, and from the shadows we see, you throw a decent shindig, but this party isn't for you. The Parliament and I agree you're so hung up on what you think you deserve that you keep getting in your own and everyone else's way. And what we need is a nice clean path to Nightwing. So toy ads. We go back to the Batcave where Batman and Dick are talking about Batman wanted to talk to him alone. He needs to know if he's sure this is what he wants to do. He just got home. He just got his life back and his secret identity of Dick Grayson. You've barely had a chance to be Dick Grayson. When he turns to tell me, I've been so many things, Bruce. Flying Grayson, Robin, Nightwing, Batman, Agent 37, all of them have one thing in common. They were all Dick Grayson. Helping my friends is all I know. It's what you taught me to do. It's what you helped make me into. And he said he's let the Parliament believe that Dick was willing to betray himself. So now that, as long as they keep believing that, then they can work in the shadows and do what they need to do to take the Parliament down, and infiltrate them from the inside. He said, I could do it as Robin or Batman or Agent 37, but the Owls didn't try to take those names and make them their own. I'm going to help my friends. I'm going to help anyone who needs me. I'm going to beat the bad guys, and I'm going to do it as Nightwing. And we see him back in his old suit with the blue bird on the chest, standing next to his old Robin costume.
I like his gloves.
Me too.
Yeah.
Got like little blue knuckles on them, some buckles on the top.
Mm-hmm. And
cute.
It kind of reminds me of his gloves as Agent 37, like just the gray and stuff on them. Like right there, you can still see like a hint of blue on the gloves and stuff like that. Overall, I think it was a great setup to get Nightwing back into the fray. Back on track, yeah.
And sets us up. It really sets up for what his story is going to entail.
Kind of also fills you in on what you've missed, somewhat.
Yeah. So you've got the Court of Owls is now the Parliament of Owls. Damien had a bomb in his brain that he didn't know about.
And it seemed like it was a pretty good jumping on point. They explained enough in like whether it was like internal monologue or through dialogue that this was a pretty good jumping on point for Nightwing if you've never read Nightwing before. It kind of tells you like how he got his name, kind of like all the different incarnations of Dick Grayson, whether it was Robin, Agent 37, Nightwing, Batman, all of it. So to me, just from your review here and kind of looking at it along with you, it seems like it's a pretty good jumping on point for Dick.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
it's a pretty good point to jump onto Dick.
I agree.
There's never been a better time to jump onto Dick now than there is now. So, for all of you out there questing jumping on Dick,
if anybody out there is curious about Dick, this is a good one.
They knew what they were doing back in the 1430s. Their names was Dick Grayson.
Yeah, I'm glad they
open your mouth and praise
Batman and his little dick.
His little flying dick. Little agile son of a bitch.
It's everywhere, doesn't he?
Alright, moving on to our special guest, Shane Taylor here. He's going to be doing Flash Rebirth #1. And if I could chime in before you start this, Flash has been so interesting. Like, they're up to issue 3 or 2 now.
I don't know. I was supposed to have them. It was supposed to be on my pull list. I just haven't seen my pull list for the longest time.
Yeah, I know they've made it as far as 2, definitely. And some stuff happens in the very last few panels of that book that are just like, what the fuck? So I'm not going to spoil it. I really want people to read it for themselves. But yeah, he's going to be doing the book that gets us to all that coolness. So
yeah, I chose Flash Rebirth because I started watching the Flash TV show, and I started really liking the character a lot. However, I had to pick this book. I figured, I'm already in the storyline. Why not, see where else it takes me.
Like you've already got an interest in the character, so
yeah.
Why not? Absolutely.
The story starts off where we're at a crime scene. You have a couple detectives assessing the crime scene, saying that there's a female dead on arrival, multiple stab wounds. So the victim's son saw the whole thing. They're pretty much hinting that it's similar to the whole crime scene that happened with Barry and his mother when he was a child. Out of the two detectives, they're sitting there talking, and Barry comes in and says, "I wouldn't rush to judgment, detective." So that's how justice can be abused. And it said, and the Vic's name is Heather Mason. I guess you can pretty much tell that Barry's feelings are kind of hurt because they jumped to conclusions.
Thinking that he would be upset by them, by the crime.
Yeah, about the whole...
Too many harsh memories would prevent him from doing his work.
Barry starts to walk away from the crime scene, and he gets this vision of Kid Flash, or Wally West, and he can't make sense of what these visions are or where they're coming from, and he thinks that it's just a bad headache. Then you see, I'm assuming it's the Reverse Flash. He says, "I'm going to kill them."
This one here?
Yeah.
No, that's actually a new character that was introduced.
His
name was
Godspeed. Godspeed.
Okay, my bad.
Okay. Because actually a little bit ahead, you will see Reverse Flash. You'll see Zoom.
Okay, my bad.
But it's a whole new character.
Yeah, that's New 52 stuff.
All right.
Whole story with him.
He says, "I'm going to kill them all, Flash." And in the middle of that vision, he's talking to Captain Singh, and he asks him if he's okay. And it goes back to him having more visions that he can't quite explain. And then Reverse Flash does come in, and he's like, "This is what I was worried about." He said, "You're taking the rest of the night off, Barry." And well, it's not Reverse Flash; it's Zoom.
Well, yeah, because in the comics, Zoom is essentially the Reverse Flash.
Yeah.
He's not this big black suited character.
Yeah, it's essentially the same character, but they just. But he's like, "Not again," and they start battling, and then he like snaps out of his vision again. Singh, I guess he's concerned about him, and he says, "I'm gonna go ahead and pull you off this case." He's like, "It's nothing." So I'm just gonna go to the crime lab and analyze the evidence. It goes to Barry having a conversation with his dad. And they're talking about the autopsy and crime scene from his mother's death. He says, "Barry, remember when you were 7 and you claimed Miss Bandini's Great Dane knocked over the fence? And yes, and you knew I was lying. So this case, it's a lot like Mom's, and it's ever been since I started it. I've been having these visions, like waking nightmares. I saw Zoom in one, and I was trying to kill him. You caught your mother's killer and proved my innocence. Thawne is still behind bars at Iron Heights. This case was a big part of your life for so long, and now it's closed. My guess is that you're probably still trying to process that." I guess they're trying to research the Speed Force. Barry talks about he has to run to Star Labs, and they need to run some tests on him.
Has to run to Star Labs.
Yeah.
I love the little quips in there.
Yeah.
It was more or less just his dad pepping him up some more.
Yeah.
You got it, Slugger. Come on, get it.
But he says that the Speed Force is off limits to experiments, so they,
You gotta get consent, because no means no when it comes to the Speed Force.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. His father's telling him, he says, "As soon as I found out your mother was pregnant with you, I prayed every day that you'd be more like her than me. And thankfully, I got my wish. But just like your mother, you stress too much." And Barry says, "Are you telling me I need to slow down?" He says, "Whatever you want to call it, but the moment you let some of the weight off your shoulders, what you're looking for will probably find you." And Barry has a little spot where it says, "My dad is a smart man, but he doesn't understand that I do all my thinking when I'm on the move."
On the move.
Yeah.
Because he moves a lot.
It goes back to where he's sitting in his lab running some tests. He said, "My equipment doesn't have super speed and takes time, so I try to be useful as I wait and help out as the Flash where I'm needed." It shows him running around giving kids pieces of pizza. He says that allows the Speed Force to show me what I was missing. And then,
I love these scenes right here.
But pretty much basically right out of the DC Rebirth one shot. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's another one of his visions he's having.
No, this is actually a flashback to what happened in
yeah.
the Rebirth book.
Yeah. This is from Barry's perspective, right?
Yeah, and this is between him and Kid Flash. He says, this isn't like the visions before. This is much stronger, and those felt like nightmares, while this feels like going home. So the figure is hard to make out, fading in and out like a lost signal. It tells me that I need to talk to Batman about a letter from his father, and then thanks me for a life I don't know about. So I don't understand, so I hope one day you will. You were right, Barry. So every second was a gift. That's why I won't die in anguish. I'll go with love in my heart. Goodbye, Barry. And as he's fading out, Barry says Wally.
That's the moment when he remembers who Wally is.
Yes.
He's been
Chills again.
Yeah.
And then
It's always a good scene.
instantly, he's back. He says, "I'm back. You said my name and brought me back." He says, I'm so sorry. And they embrace each other. He says, how could I ever forget you? He said, and like a bolt of lightning, visions of life I never knew came back. He said, Wally was Iris's nephew. Because he was struck by lightning just like me and became Kid Flash. We ran together side by side. He was a Teen Titan. As Wally tells me about the Flashpoint, about how I tried to go back in time to stop Zoom from killing my mother and change history, that our memories have been manipulated, that other lives have been forgotten, that I broke the time stream. Flash is he says he created this nightmare. He says, are you sure it wasn't my fault? It wasn't, Barry. It was something else, someone else. They go back and forth, apologizing to each other, and Wally's like, you couldn't have known. Whatever it is out there, it won't stand a chance against us now that you're back. That's a fact. That's a Flash fact.
Nice.
And then
Flash facts.
and then Barry's like, we have to tell Iris. As he goes to take off, he's like, come on. And then Wally's like, Barry, no. Says, Iris is my friend. She'll understand. And it jumps over to Iris talking to Councilman Pelsky. She introduces herself as a Central City citizen. Says, is it true that you use money to fund your own vacation? The people of Central City deserve to know. Wally's telling Flash, says, Iris is your friend. Says, Barry, I'm not ready to tell her. Says, I don't think you are either. There are pieces of your memory missing from both of us. They didn't just take time, they took our lives. They took our friendships, our loves. And Wally tells Barry, so they took my wife, Barry, Linda. I already tried talking to her. And Barry's like, your wife, I didn't know. And neither did she.
She didn't know she was my wife either. It was a surprise for everyone.
Yeah, it was
Surprise!
From the future. You have Barry and Wally talking about, then you find out who did this. And Wally's like, I'm going to look up the rest of the Teen Titans and see what they know.
That was such a good book.
Yeah,
It was.
Leads right into Titans Rebirth.
And Barry's telling Wally, says, if you're going, you'll need a new suit. You're not Kid Flash anymore. He says, you're a Flash. He says, I'll use the Speed Force to manifest a new costume when I forgot we could use the Speed Force that way. Have you still been using the ring, Barry? He says, I'm going to talk to Batman. He's probably already on the case. So don't try to take this on alone, Wally. He says, if you discover anything or you're in trouble, you don't even have to say it, Barry.
Aww.
Because I'll be there.
He said, I'll find you.
That's so sweet.
I like that spread right there.
Yeah.
I love the art.
Yeah.
I really
It's
thought that was pretty nice
fantastic.
too.
Split
Shows
page
them
situation.
running side by side, save the day.
Pretty awesome.
This is they're thinking to themselves. Wally's saying Barry saved him, and then Barry's like, well, Wally thinks that I saved him, so that's twice he's given me this life. So that I brought him back. The greatest life a kid could ever ask for. But really, Wally brought me back. And it jumps to the Flash at the Batcave, talking to Batman or Bruce, whatever. He said, I was right, Batman. He said, I was right. Batman is already working an angle. Everyone thinks of Bruce as a detective, but to me, he'll always be a scientist.
Oh, I forgot that. That
Me
the
too.
pin was in this.
Yeah.
Looks like
He
Batman's
watches.
watching The Watchmen now.
The Batman.
It says before running any tests, Bruce first thought the Joker left it as a clue to another twisted game. It wouldn't be the first time. And they're talking about this smiley face button that was embedded on the wall of the Batcave.
Which is Rorschach's button. Or it's the button that Rorschach picked up of the comedian's button. Yes, I'm sorry.
Damn it, Bob.
Watch me. Damn it. I'm a disgrace to my family. Samurai
Damn
sword.
you.
Lashings.
Because once I fill in Bruce on Wally and what he said about the missing years, and now we're being watched, it's clear we're on the same case. It says we matched samples from the letter I gave him after the flashpoint with the button and try to connect the dots and share our theories. And they go on and talk for a long time. The Flash, he's talking to himself, says, I haven't stood this still in years, talking with Bruce. So we want to tell the League, but we're not even sure what we'd be telling them. Bruce loves his secrets, but he hates the lie. Says the blood on the button has traces of radiation unlike anything we've seen. I've raced through time and space, and we've dealt with distant universes and alternate realities. But something about this feels much more personal. As Batman's looking at the button, says we don't know enough yet, and it'd be unwise to rush to judgment, Barry. So we should keep investigating this together. Barry takes off running. He's like, Batman took the words right out of my mouth. Said, I've had cases like this before, no real leads, and only the evidence to follow. But if this unseen manipulator is what the Speed Force was trying to warn me about, then I know that Batman and I will solve it.
If there's a problem, Batman will solve it.
Don't even start.
No one's going to follow up with Vanilla Ice?
Nope.
I
thought about it.
Check
I
out
thought
the
about
clip
it.
while the Flash revolves.
And then it jumps back to the crime scene again. And the two detectives are still talking. And they're saying that, they don't need him. So the husband confessed. So Alan likes to give speeches about justice and how we do our jobs. But let me tell you a little something about Barry Allen. That guy has too much going on, and sometimes Barry Allen makes mistakes. And that's where it ends.
Okay, yeah, this book is a great recap to what happened with.
It was a quick rundown of what
Yeah.
happened.
Basically,
It's funny because he runs.
It's basically just a quick recap of everything that happened in Flash Rebirth, or not Rebirth, but DC Universe Rebirth. Maybe not everything that happened, but the important bits. Wally West coming back, the Flash recruiting Batman, and what Batman found in his wall. So, what did you think of the book, Shane?
I thought it was real good. I really got to see where Kid Flash was introduced pretty much.
Yeah, reintroduced back. Like I said, it's a big a recap. If you missed Rebirth for whatever reason through the many reprints, Flash Rebirth #1 or the Flash Rebirth one shot is a good way to get caught up on the important stuff.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on over to my pick for this week's podcast, and that is Superman #3. Now, quickly, I want to give you a little recap of what you've been missing from Rebirth up to this point.
Previously in Rebirth Superman.
Basically, in the Rebirth Superman one-shot, it was the pre-crisis Superman trying to bring New 52 Superman back from the dead. using means that were used to bring him back from the dead after fighting Doomsday. Didn't work. The New 52 Superman is gone.
Dead as hell.
Dead as shit. So we continue on in the Superman books, mostly focusing on Superman's son, John. He's been, finding his powers lately. There's one point where he discovers he has heat vision, and accidentally obliterates the family cat.
Shit. That's this story.
Yeah, that's this story.
Style. Take it on my foot.
And in that first issue,
But did he die?
But did the cat die? The second issue, Superman takes John out on a mission with him to save some oil tanker out in the middle of the ocean from some sort of giant monster. No, he does not blow that up. In fact, he's told to basically sit back and watch. Like, learn.
Float up
from
here
what
in
I
the
do.
distance and use your super eyes to watch what I do.
Yeah, he's basically told, watch what I do, watch how I interact with these problems, blah, blah, blah.
Referring to the people as problems.
You find this way too entertaining. Like, every third word, you gotta show. Yes, Superman would fuck up Nightwing. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Ugh.
Dick Grayson Nightwing or the Kryptonian Nightwing?
Yes.
Yes, as the answer.
Yes. Anyways, basically these first two issues have been like kind of a heartwarming, like, okay, son, we're finally gonna see this through type thing. But a problem has arose from these last few issues, and that is that he's having fluctuating invulnerability. Sometimes he can take a full-on blast. Sometimes he just scrapes his knee, or at the end of issue 2, falls out of a tree and hits his head and goes unconscious. So to figure this out, Superman's decided to take advantage of the fact that the New 52 Superman's Fortress of Solitude accepts him as Kal-El. So they're going to bring John to the Fortress of Solitude, but as soon as they get there, they see the Eradicator. So from page 2, we're in a fight. We're in a fight here. So, because the Eradicator from Pre-Crisis, a bad dude. So, and if you need to know more about him, check out the Reign of the Superman storyline taking place after the death of Superman and World Without Superman. So Superman starts fighting the Eradicator, and during this fight, a piece of the fortress comes down and is about to crush Lois and John, who's regained consciousness by this point. Just before it hits, the Eradicator runs over and catches it, saving Lois and John. Which is weird because that isn't what the Eradicator would have done back in this Superman's universe. During the fight, this Eradicator's explained that his entire job is to protect Kryptonian life. And while they're checking out John to see what's wrong with his physiology, the Eradicator explains that him and a bunch of other Eradicators were created by General Zod with two purposes. Preserving Kryptonian life and capturing a specific list of Kryptonian prisoners. At which point, outlaws, prisoners. This is General Zod's list, so whether they're actually criminals or not
is a gray area.
Yeah, it's a gray area. And when they find these criminals, what they do is they absorb their essence and send it to the Phantom Zone and cryo-freeze their bodies until they can later stand trial. But upon returning from a mission from another world, the Eradicators found Krypton exploding, and due to the blast were somewhat modge-podged into a humanoid form, and decided to start seeking out survivors, which led them to the Fortress of Solitude. They eventually found John's blood from the situation with the tanker, and decided to start... they found John's blood from the situation with the tanker and took it back to the fortress to learn about its physiology, because it's the only half-human, half-Kryptonian. So while Clark has decided to start trusting him, he turns his attention back to John, in which the Eradicator states that now he has to purge the impure part of John. So he goes to eradicate the human side of John when Crypto, the super dog,
I love Crypto.
jumps in.
Yes.
Who's been present throughout this book, just
I've
more of
seen
a
him.
footnote.
Yeah.
I decided not to bring up till now, but jumps in between them and ends up getting absorbed into the Eradicator.
No!
All while John's watching. It's a very, this whole page and these panels are just so heartbreaking because it's fucking Crypto.
In the final thing you see John's second to last panel, you see his eyes wide, and then the very last panel on that page is Crypto's cape just falling to the ground.
Oh.
And Superman is done. He's like, okay, you know what? Whether it doesn't
Done
matter
fucking
that
around.
his mission is different than the other Eradicator's mission, I'm gonna fuck him up. So he attacks him, and we turn our attention to John, but in the background you just see wham, 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 because Superman's going to town on him. Superman's unloading. But while this is going on, John is knelt down to the cape. He's crying and clenching this cape. You still hear just wham, wham, wham going on in the background. And out of the dust of this fight and in the shadow of these two locking hands, John's eyes have started to glow red. He's clenching this cape and he's walking out of the dust. He's pissed. He's about to fuck some shit up.
Killed my
Super Saiyan
fucking
God, Super
dog.
Saiyan.
Yeah, and I can't
He's going
describe
John
this.
Wick on their ass.
Yes.
You're asking if I've had a bad day. Yeah. I'm thinking I had a bad day. That's not the line. I'm thinking I'm back. It's something like that. I haven't seen the movie.
Everyone.
Anyways, I can't do this page justice. It just looks so good.
It is.
Tomasi, the guy who's writing this.
Who's the artist on this?
Let me see who the artist is here. I'm not 100% sure. I know.
It's in there somewhere.
It is. They really buried the lead here. We've got Peter J. Tomasi and Patrick Gleason working on the story, and they're doing a great job. The artist is George Jimenez.
I don't know. I like that art though.
Yeah, it looks good. It's like a cleaner upgrade from the pre-crisis artwork, and I like that. But yeah, these stories have been so interesting. Action Comics has been okay. That's kind of dealing with Lex becoming the new Superman and Clark revealing himself as the actual Superman. And now they're fighting Doomsday for some reason. For 3 issues, they've been fighting Doomsday.
They just need to give him a Snickers. Apparently, it's all that needs to be done.
But
apparently that Snickers ad did cause confusion.
Yeah.
In the Action Comics, since there was Doomsday fights going on. And
is it actually Wonder Woman? No.
Wait,
shut up.
Do they just give Doomsday a Snickers and he turns into Wonder Woman?
I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy.
That's hot. But no, I love this book. As a Superman fan, I was into what was going on with the final days of Superman and all the stuff leading up to that with Savage Dawn. It was good, but this is where I want to be. I want to see Clark and Lois dealing with their son. Lois even at one point in one of the issues said they're talking about how Superman was raised, and she's like, well, now you have all that knowledge that your parents gave you. You're starting at the best place you possibly could, and he's getting the best of both worlds raising him. He's going to be all right.
All right, so does this Lois have powers as well?
No, not as far as I know, because...
Then what's this Superwoman book?
Right, I'm thinking it's going to be New 52, Lois.
Okay.
Huh.
I'm thinking it's going to be New 52. Nobody, it hasn't been revealed yet, but... I'm definitely thinking it's not going to be this Lois. I think it would fuck up this story.
It
would. The path that they're on, if she got powers and became Superwoman, fuck that. No, I want to see more of this. And we got Eradicator back, and Cyborg Superman, and Supergirl, who's apparently her dad. All these returning characters from the Reign of Superman are just reimagined.
They're finding ways to tie them into this universe.
Yeah. So yeah, it's been great. I can't suggest this book enough. They're only in issue 3 right now, and you really don't need to read the Rebirth issue unless you want that. Are they going to bring Superman back, the New 52 Superman back, closed for you? That's all that's going to do. Start from number 1.
You've already spoiled. No,
yeah.
they're not.
No, they're not. He's gone.
He did.
He's dead.
He did.
This is our Superman. Get the fuck over it.
He did.
He did.
Which nobody liked that other Superman anyway. So
Nope.
what the fuck are you pissing my Cheerios about it? Oh. I'm so combative. I'm like automatically assuming our listeners are going to attack me for this. Fuck you.
Fuck you. I like what I like.
I hate our listeners. No, I don't. Please don't unsubscribe. Come back.
Come back to me, please.
Anyways, Superman, 3 issues in, $2.99 for all of them. You will not regret it. And you get 2 stories a month. 2 stories a month. So
I have a love-hate relationship with that.
Yeah.
Really?
Because I'm already behind on Batman. I'm behind on Detective. I'm behind on so much stuff.
I'm thankful that with Batman and Superman, they're splitting up their 2 consecutive stories in between Detectives, Batman, and Action and Superman, because with Wonder Woman right now, you buy Wonder Woman #1 and it starts as, I can't remember the name of the story.
Yeah, I think there's a present day and then one that was...
Yeah, the #2 is the first part of year 1. So basically that's how it's going to go. Issue 3 is going to be part 2 of that first story. Issue 4 is going to be part 2 of year 1. And that's, it's
and I like what they're doing in Detective right now. They brought together Tim Drake and I like that.
And luckily, Superman and Batman have 2 separate books that they can tell 2 separate stories. And of course, they're gonna give the fucking world to Superman and Batman because they're the A-list.
Yeah.
Not that Wonder Woman's not A-list. I'm just saying that she doesn't have a sensational comics book right now.
She's not as A-list as the A-list.
Because for some reason, all of you people who love Wonder Woman so much didn't want to buy sensational comics, so they canceled that book. You have yourself to blame here.
Oh no!
You Wonder Woman fake fans.
I'll stick to Catwoman.
Catwoman doesn't even have a book.
They all jumped over fucking Harley
she's
and
going
shit.
to. I'm gonna write it.
It'll get canceled after 2 issues.
Yes, it will.
Actually, the new Big 2
Best day
Catwoman
of
run
2
went
issues.
for a few volumes.
I
read the first maybe 2 volumes of it, and I enjoyed it. I mean, it's alright.
Okay, fine. Your Catwoman.
We're gonna go ahead and take a little break here.
Break time.
This part's gonna be edited out. Blah 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 blah. Press some pauses here.
Penis, vagina.
But I figure with what we did with the Flash at one time, this is essentially Vinny's
revenge.
Yeah.
It's revenge.
This is more or less one. All right, guys, we went to see a little film that has made a blip on the radar. Some people know about it. I think there's like a trailer or 2 out.
There might be, I don't know, some kind of juice even that's related.
And I hear it's based off of something from the 80s. Probably.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't that
Jurassic
popular
Park?
though. No, that was the 90s. You lose your movie card. Unfortunately, no.
Is it your new Die Hard movie?
Unfortunately, it is not my Die Hard 6 movie, which will probably be Die Hard 8 by the time I get it finished. But we went to see a little bit called Ghostbusters. And surprisingly enough, not to jump right to the end of the review, but it was way better than I expected.
Same here.
I expected it to be way more cringeworthy.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Now, see, I kind of went in with, I wasn't trying to hope for the Ghostbusters we've already had. I went in with a bit of an open mind. Actually, Shane asked me right before we started. He said, "What was it you asked me? What were your exact words?" It was something like, "What?" He's like, "What are you expecting from this movie?" I'm like, "Nothing. That's the whole thing." It's like I don't want to go in here expecting anything besides it being a good movie.
Yeah.
And all in all, it was a good movie.
And I
don't necessarily want to compare it to the original.
I decided not to take it seriously. I didn't want to go in taking it seriously at all.
Yeah.
You know what?
I'm going to go into this movie expecting it to be a joke.
This is a joke.
We'll see how good it is based off of that platform. One of the things that did bother me is that Dan Aykroyd, Harold Ramis, Bill Murray, and Carl Winslow.
And Sigourney fucking Weaver.
Yes.
Carl Winslow.
Oh God! Did I just think?
You lost your TV show card.
That's kind of racist.
Does it all look the same?
One of those black guys from the '80s. No. Carl Winston is his name, right?
Sure.
What's that actor's name? I don't know.
Carl Winston. It's a
God,
W.
I can't.
I thought his last name was Winslow. But
The black guy from Ghostbusters.
Oh my God.
Damn it.
Anyways,
We're getting kicked off the air for this.
We're not on. Joke's on them. We're not on the air.
Joke's on them. Nobody listens to us.
Anyways, those
Carl
4
Winslow.
actors. Was it
Winslow.
Carl Winslow?
I think so. Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it the sound effects
Oh,
guy
I
from
was
Police
so
Academy?
fucking right. Ooh.
And then you
I made
call
my.
yourself racist.
Here's the thing. I made myself that to look like a racist, and I was right. Anyways, those 4 actors, they've got such a great chemistry. I mean, with Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd coming from SNL, Harold Ramis is just a genius writer. Anyways, like he just looked around the room and he knew what to write for people. They had such a great chemistry, and that does not come across in this one. Like.
No,
It's not that they didn't work well together.
Well, like, yeah, I was gonna say, because like Melissa McCarthy and what's her name? Hold on, I actually have the actress's names written down, so
Kristen
I didn't do
Wiig.
this. Kristen Wiig, thank you.
Oh,
They've
yeah.
been in movies together. They're in what?
Yeah.
Bridesmaids.
Yeah,
and,
Bridesmaids.
I mean, and they've all worked with. At least those 2 actresses have worked with. Is it Kevin Feige, Kevin Feige, Kevin Feige?
I don't know.
It's Kevin Feige.
Whatever.
I think it's
No, I mean,
Beige.
Saturday Night Live.
Whatever. I don't know.
Is that?
But they've all worked with him before. At least those 2 actresses have.
Well-
So I do feel like that at least with those 2, that there is some kind of like you can tell that there's already some kind of established chemistry between them. But I think all in all 4 of them together.
I've never
Not
really
so
gotten
much.
that Melissa McCarthy. What the hell was that actress? Again, Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig.
I've never gotten their chemistry really all that well. And Kristen Wiig, I'm not a fan of her. Like that was the most groan-worthy thing when it was getting announced who was in the movie. I was like, Melissa McCarthy, okay, she's kind of funny sometimes. But then it was Kristen Wiig, and I was like,
And then the other 2 actresses, I
like
don't know if they're in anything else,
I like Kate
anything
McKinnon.
substantial at least, but like I've never heard of them.
I think the
Which one?
girl,
Leslie Jones.
The one who plays Patty, yeah, Leslie Jones.
Leslie Jones is from
Yeah.
SNL.
Okay,
All
okay.
from-
Yeah,
that's cool.
and that is
She
that is
stand-up.
one noteworthy thing. They are all from SNL, but I don't know. I'm just still like I feel like when they're in the room together, there are 4 completely separate personalities that are just doing their thing regardless of the other personalities.
Yeah,
Whereas
you
with
I
the
love
original,
Kate
SNL
McKinnon,
used
though.
to be funny.
Yeah.
And we actually used to get good comedians from SNL.
Okay.
I think Kate McKinnon's funny.
Kate
Remember when
McKinnon.
SNL used to be funny?
Okay.
No, but with the others, with the original cast, they just their personalities were
melted
so
together so
different,
well.
but they just were connected.
Now, Kevin,
Oh God, Kevin.
Chris Hemsworth character Kevin,
Kevin is
is essentially the bimbo eye candy that most females are in movies, but in male form
Now-
in this movie.
What I wanted to say about this movie was that it doesn't have this like uber feminist agenda like most
No.
people expected, but
There
that
were
you
a
just
few
made
small
that
things.
point.
Between that and the final shot on the big monster where they had to hit him to knock
Yeah.
him down, I was like, yeah, I think that was kind of them going like a girl power type
Yeah,
thing.
my
Was it a nut shot? I
It
bet it
was.
was a nut shot.
it was a nut.
It was a 4 proton nut shot.
But yeah, now that you mentioned
Yes.
the Kevin thing, that is, but he's all throughout this movie, so it's not
He
like
is.
it's a little thing. It's all
No,
throughout the movie.
but they did make him that stereotypical like kind of stupid bimbo, but in dude form.
Yeah.
He was an imbecile. But honestly, some of the funniest parts, like we were talking about that.
Oh my God, that
Shane,
sandwich part
Shane
is
slightly
very good.
disagrees, but I feel like some of the funniest parts was his character. But honestly, that character could have been in any other movie besides Ghostbusters. He would still have been funny. I didn't feel like it was necessary for this movie, but
Yeah.
it still put in a lot more comedy than what even the main cast put in my opinion.
Yeah.
There were some small jokes and some small things here and there that I felt like were funny, but they could have been in any movie. It didn't necessarily feel like it had to be in this movie.
Yeah.
Even though it worked okay, it felt like it could have been in Bridesmaids or something. Some of these jokes.
See,
You know?
now having not seen the movie myself, but going based on what you guys have said and what I've heard from other people,
Exactly. What
is there's really no good direction. There's no.
I don't know.
Like,
There is. I mean, they have the basic like, here's what's going on. Here's your bad guy. Here's the things building up to it. You have
It's paced well.
climax. Yeah, it is. It's all in all, it was a good
Box
movie.
office said
I felt like.
that it tanked.
Probably. I'm not
Let's
talking about box office sales.
I'm just saying.
That's off track. Anyway, Shane, what were you about to say?
I was gonna talk about the whole Kevin character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not so much that I didn't like his character. It's just that he was funny, but there was just a couple parts throughout the movie that I just thought were actually rather stupid.
It's disruptive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like it had nothing to do with the whole movie itself.
I don't know. You heard him at the end. They are the Ghostbusters there too.
As far as he's concerned, well, yeah, the receptionist does end up joining the team in the cartoon.
Yeah.
But did she join the team in the second movie? No. She was babysitting.
What's his name? Did?
Yeah, Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now to bring them up, aside from Rick Moranis, I love the cameos.
Yes.
In this movie. We had the biggest one was Bill Murray.
Yeah, he had the most screen time.
He played a doctor of the supernatural
he would debunk
debunking
frauds.
They had Dan Aykroyd as a cab driver, who was right on par with the Ghostbuster jargon.
He knew that it was like a class 5.
Yeah, they're like, do you not see all these ghosts running around? He's like, oh, what, you mean all these class 5 spook apparitions? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it was pretty great. They had a Harold Ramis bust.
Yeah.
At one point. Carl Winslow plays
Patty's uncle, who she got the hearse
yeah.
from that they created into the Ecto-1.
And I'm so sorry, I don't know this character or her actress's name. No, the receptionist from the first movie.
Yes.
She plays the desk clerk in the hotel that where all the big shit's going on. And then you have Sigourney Weaver at the very end, who
during the credit scene, because there's actually credit scenes and then that post-credit scene that literally gave me goosebumps, dude.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that.
Big spoiler. Janine, yes, Janine. She was in there. Sigourney Weaver played what's that? What's the crazy one's name?
Holtzman?
Holtzman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jillian Holtzman is the character's name, played by Kate McKinnon.
Yeah.
Kate McKinnon.
Dude,
I love her.
I've grown a crush on her. Her character,
me too.
She's adorable. She reminds me tremendously of somebody who I also
Tank Girl.
am infatuated with right now. A real life person, not
a real life
girl.
Yes. I there's those parts at the beginning where I was like, she's fucking
there was some Tank Girl feels to it. Dude, and I love that, jumping back to that final scene when they're taking them all out. I love her weapon she pulls out. She's dual wielding, and the instrumentals to Ghostbusters starts playing, dude. And
that's another thing I want to say for this movie is it does a little fan service. It gives you some things you didn't have before, like the part where Slimer steals the
Slimer stealing the Ecto-1 and having joyriding it with a female Slimer and a bunch of ghosts partying, dude, like that.
Yes.
For a second, I was like, really?
Right.
I was like, you know what? I love it.
And then right before the final boss scene, there's this whole like standoff. It's them versus this whole like I don't know, platoon of ghosts.
Of different ghosts from different eras.
So action packed, and they're using their weapons.
Yeah, and that's another thing in this movie. They brought in so many weapons, like the proton punch, the thing that they put on their hand.
And you can argue it's toy service.
The grenades. Oh yeah, the grenades. Like I said, Holtzman's dual wielding fucking protons, dude.
Well, we got some of the coolest stuff out of the '80s because of toy service.
Exactly.
So I'm not against it. Yeah. So if you were ever like, the Ghostbusters are cool, they're funny, I like the effects, but they kind of do just stand around and shoot those lasers and that's it. Wouldn't be wrong, and you're finally getting that upgrade in this movie.
Yeah. It was very action-packed. And one thing that I was a little weird about was like, everything in this is CG. There was something about the feel on the original Ghostbusters that they did use practical effects with, early CG or early special effects methods. I was expecting to go in here and be like, instantly like, yeah, okay, this is obviously all CG, and of course it is, but it wasn't as cartoony as I was expecting it to be.
I disagree with you on that. I would put this on par with the Haunted Mansion.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, there was...
Like,
Yeah,
I don't
okay.
like the ghost effects in this, really. Like I said, yeah, it's very Haunted Mansion.
But
or
I mean,
the
really,
Haunting.
compare it to the ghost that's in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's kind of what they were doing,
I
was
think
trying
those
to make
old
it look.
effects hold up.
Oh, they do.
Oh, yeah.
But I think that's exactly what they were trying to do, essentially that look, but completely CG instead of using the practical plus the special effects with it.
Another thing I can give this movie is, much like the second one, this one gives us a human and eventually ghost protagonist.
Yes.
So it's not just...
And then back to human-ish. And
yeah, it's not just... The spirit world is going nuts, and there's this big thing about to happen that we don't get to see take place because it's on the other side. This dude is committed to bringing these ghosts to our side, and it gives us a more tangible villain.
One thing I was kind of digging, that it was a nice little reminder of, or a nice, not really like homage, but in the first movie they were kind of battling with the mayor on their legitimacy and what they should be doing, and they were doing the same thing in this movie, also with the government as well.
Yeah, but it was so goofy. It was.
Everything in this movie, especially if you're going to compare it to the original, was a lot more goofier. They were pushing the comedy side of this more than comedy / supernatural-ish. You know what I mean?
Because after the big event happens, the mayor is still denying that there was any
He was like, terrorists
activity.
Drug the water supply. Like, really? No, the whole city saw this. No, that's what happened.
Yeah. Another thing that bothers me about the movie is the fact that they've shoved that Fall Out Boy theme out there, when in the movie there's a better remade theme of the original.
It felt more, it was the exact same song, just updated, not like the same lyrics with different.
I think it was a little more fast paced.
It was,
and stuff, but it was an upgrade of the original song, perfect for this movie.
Yeah.
Don't need that Fall Out Boy song whatsoever.
Well, that's why they were pushing that one, is just names. It's Fall Out Boy will sell, boom boom.
Hey, like this movie because you like Fall Out Boy, right? Well, yeah, maybe about a decade ago. When you could have made Ghostbusters 3. Bastards.
I feel like, even though I get it because they were at the concert, I felt like the Ozzy cameo was pushed. Like,
there was
forced,
no point in that.
And I hate Ozzy cameos because he sounds like he's reading off a fucking teleprompter. I mean, that's how Ozzy talks. But
he has no connection to these properties prior.
None.
Like, where the fuck was Ozzy in any of the other Ghostbusters things? Never.
On tour making music?
Yeah, right? So... all in all, it's not that bad of a film. I
enjoyed it a lot more than
I don't think these new characters are going to be household names or anything like that. But at the same time, it does what it needs to do. It's fun. It's got more action than the originals. I love the new gadgets. And these ladies are funny, outside of Kristen Wiig. Like, I mean, in my opinion.
One complaint, especially about Kristen Wiig's character, not necessarily her portrayal of the character, but like that character itself. I hated how the whole movie reminded how much she's just infatuated with Kevin, and like it took away from some scenes, and it's just like they did it just to try to get an extra chuckle out of people.
Yeah.
And one thing that I said to you before we started, you dropped a couple cuss words while we were talking before the movie started, and I was like, oh wait, keep it down, man. There's a child in front of us. Like, he's like, okay. About 15 minutes of the movie, he looks over at me. He's like, I think I don't have to worry about cussing anymore, because there's quite a bit of cussing in this. There's a lot of sexual innuendos.
And the part I said that on is when they're getting kicked out of their university by the
second university
by the dean, who tells them to leave by flipping them off. Yeah. And he does this
what do you say? To suck it?
Yeah. He's like, I've only got 2 words for you. And she's like, he's going to say suck it. She's like, I don't think he's going to say suck it.
I think he's going to say get out.
Yeah.
He's like, suck it. I guess he said suck it.
Yeah, you're right.
And then he starts doing like the Jack in the Box, you know what I mean? Or like
he does this perfect one. He blows up the middle finger real slow.
Like from his thumb.
He makes the, I don't know how to make that, like... And his thumbs...
Like a balloon going.
His finger's going around the room, and he catches it. He's like, oh, I caught it. And it's just so great. I've never seen that one before. No. I loved it.
I'll tell you what. That after credit scene got me excited.
Now, are you guys going to go see a sequel?
I will see it, dude. especially
Yes, very much.
if it's going to tie into that post-credit scene.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, because I want to see what they do with that.
Yeah.
I really want to see.
I really hope this post-credit scene is not just fan service, and it's what they're actually setting up the sequel, because they did announce like there's going to be a sequel. We've already got it under.
But Ghostbusters now is going to be a big franchise. I kind of like try to point that out at the beginning. Whenever the credits started rolling, it said Ghost Corps, a Paramount Studios or something.
Yeah,
but it's like pretty much a sub studio. Yeah. They're creating their own
universe.
Yeah, their own Ghostbusters universe.
But that post-credit scene,
Spoilers.
they're sitting there listening to what is it? EMP?
No, not EMP. It's
EVP.
EVP or something like that. Yeah,
they're listening to the EVP waves, and she asked the other girls to. Yeah, Patty asked the other girls to come over. It's like, do you guys know the name?
No,
Zool?
she goes, have you guys ever heard of Zool? Or who's Zool? So she says.
Who's Zool?
And I got instant goosebumps all the way down my arm.
Zool, motherfucker!
And there's actually a mom standing off with her kids in the aisle, and whenever she said, "Who's Zool?" Like, and we kind of jumped and everything, and she got excited, and the kid was like, "Who is Zool?" And she's like, "Oh, honey, you need to watch the first Ghostbusters."
Yeah.
No, it was pretty great. And now, okay, maybe this movie won't derail your childhood like you think it will.
It's not
honestly,
gonna rape
it is not
destroy
comparable to the original at all. You can still love the original and laugh at this movie. But if you're dead set on not seeing this, the angry video game nerd James Rolfe made a video called Ghostbusters 2016 No Review, I Refuse. And he's basically saying, he's like, I usually do these types of videos, blah, 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 but I don't need to see this one. I don't think it's going to ruin the original, but I also don't think I'm going to like it, so I'm just not going to see it.
And
I fall into that trap, you fall into that trap, and I'm going to change the way things work from now on.
And that's the thing, is like, if you don't like these reboots, if you don't even want to see them, that's fine. You still have the movie that you love, and that, I mean, all those memories of that movie you love, it's still there.
Yeah,
it's
basically, if you know you're not going to like it, just don't go see it. Then you have nothing to bitch about.
Yeah.
If you're curious about it and think that there's a possibility you may like it, watch it.
Now, if you've heard this and you think you're going to hate it and you still go see it, you are openly admitting you're looking for a reason to bitch about it. So tread lightly now that we've called you out.
But all in all, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was a fun movie. I don't know if I'd pay to go watch it again in theaters.
No, yeah, I want it.
It's
on
definitely
DVD.
one I'll pick up once it comes out. Definitely.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be
Not
paying for any Blu-ray, but I'd definitely buy this on DVD.
I would, mainly because there's a lot of good visuals.
I'm gonna wait for it to go into the $5 bin.
The $7.88 bin.
It'll come out. Give it 2 weeks. It'll be on that like $12 shelf. Like that sits out in the middle of the aisle.
Yeah.
It'll be
Okay, moving on from that, more movie news. We've got the Star Wars behind the scenes trailer that came out. Was it prior to Comic-Con? I think it came out just before Comic-Con.
Yeah.
But basically, when they were advertising Star Wars Episode 7, their second trailer was a behind the scenes look. And this is what I was already so excited for the movie. I already knew I was gonna love it. I wanted it. I was already set. But when that
second trailer came out,
it sold me hard. Like nobody could ever tell me anything
goosebumps and
bad
chills
about
the
it.
whole time.
Yeah.
I remember watching that for the first time, and the whole time I was like, I felt like a
practical
child
effects,
again.
The creature factory, everything. It was just so perfect. And this is exactly the same.
Yeah.
They have not skipped a beat with this movie from Star Wars Episode 7. They're treating it exactly the same. And it's an anthology film. They could fail on this one, so long as they don't fail in the episodes.
In the main ones, yeah.
Yeah, they could fail at these, but they're just not going to take that gamble.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. They seem to love Star Wars across the board. So anyways, looking at that video, what did you guys think? What did you take away from it especially?
I was more like, I know that there was a lot of voiceover during it. I kind of tuned that out because I was infatuated with all the practical effects, with seeing all the creatures and stuff.
Yeah, they're using less green
the
screen
new
effects.
whatever their trooper is that is in that big tank.
Yes,
I love that helmet. Like it was a cool look.
It was a white troop.
Yeah, white
helmet.
with, yeah,
but
white
it was
with
some
some
sort of
black
like assault battalion.
Yeah, because they're coming in like tanks almost. Is what
Yeah.
it looked like.
Well, then there was one part. They're on the cameras, and the director's going along like yelling. He's like, "The X-wing takes out the AT-AT, and we go over here," like just screaming. This is what's happening during this scene. He's
getting
so
everyone
into it.
He's getting pumped to get everyone else pumped.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
That's how you know you have a good director, right there.
Right.
Yeah.
If you can like take your love and be able to like
Your enthusiasm for it,
and you make everyone, even if they've never like, it could be an extra off the side of the screen. It's like, I guess I'll do this, and
I'm gonna stand around in the background like a motherfucker.
Like,
I'm gonna buy that weird pink fruit, and I'm gonna be so fucking happy about it.
So excited.
Yeah, pink
This
fruit.
is my character.
You know what? Best damn extra.
But
I'm in the Star Wars here.
whenever the director was talking about, he said, when I was a child, I used to play with the Star Wars action figures.
Yeah.
This is essentially the same thing on a much larger scale.
Yeah.
He was like, this is what I would love to do, of course. So.
And the one of my favorite things from that video was they're in the helicopter telling the one creature how to like growl or yell or whatever. How to do the
The
laugh.
little badger looking thing.
Yeah,
I loved it.
But like the practical effects,
Yeah,
on location instead of just in
Yeah.
a studio, they're going to all these different
It
places.
seems like the only time they're doing a blue screen or anything like that, because they did this in Star Wars Episode 7,
is
is
the
when they're
space.
doing nighttime or space.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
And
that final lightsaber battle, I mean, and even to this, their credit, they did it on a blue screen set, but they brought in real trees.
Yeah, like the final lightsaber battle in in Force Awakens. And that's one thing I was going to say is all, like, that makes such a big difference. To me, I still like the prequels, certain parts of the prequels, and I like them for what they are, and I get that some people don't, but that was Lucas's vision for it. You know what I mean?
Well,
At least at the time.
I saw this blooper reel for the prequels once, and at the very
everything's green screen.
well, most of it's blue and green screen, but specifically what I want to point out is at the very end, Natalie Portman's from Episode 2. She's doing that whole droid factory thing.
Yeah.
She's ducking the bars and everything, and she has to stop at some point, and she's just laughing and saying, "This is so ridiculous." And you can see this look of irritation on George Lucas's face. He's like, "Yeah, but it's gonna look really good." And I was like, why did they put that in there? Because that's such an awkward exchange. You know that she's fucked this up like 20 times because she just cannot wrap her head around it.
But that's what I was saying is, like, while watching the prequels, it had a completely different feel than the original 3. Now, Episode 7, Episode 7, and even just what we've seen of Rogue One has that feeling again, dude. Like, gives me that feeling of, like, this is still part of that universe. Like, it's a whole different feeling, a whole different look than what the prequels were.
Well, and with that different, like the overuse of the CG and green screens and everything in the prequels versus the originals, you really got that, or at least I did, you get that feeling of the technology and everything they're doing is digressing from Episode 1 to the end of Episode 3. Like, things seem so technologically advanced, and they're just digressing down and becoming clunkier and all that to end the third movie looking somewhat like Episode 4.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see that. And also with the degradation in the original trilogy, you can attribute that to the Empire's rule. Putting a squeeze on certain trades and stuff. Because when you go to the Cloud City, everything's sleek and nice and clean, and everything seems to be right back on that technological level.
Yeah.
But then you're on Tatooine and everything's shit.
Everything
just fucking sucks. So yeah, I agree with that too. Shane, do you have anything you want to throw in there?
I've never really honestly been a huge Star Wars fan.
All right.
Get out.
I'm sorry.
It's done. We're done. You know what? Just edit out all his shit from this episode. He was never here. You're dead to me.
I mean,
no, like what you like, man.
It just never really caught my attention all that much. But I have to say, whenever I did watch that trailer, it looked pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Never too late to start liking Star Wars.
I've been wanting to watch The Force Awakens, but I haven't.
You have one of those pirate sticks, buddy. When I'm just watching on there.
I've been trying to, but every time I do, I get sidetracked.
You're never
One of-
too late to
One of
love Star
them
Wars.
flaming rod devices.
Okay,
Whatever you call them,
Flaming
do
rods.
do
tonight,
Jake.
Crab
go
rods.
home,
Movie
hang
rods.
a sock on your door, load up the
Candle
Amazon
rod.
Fire Stick with the Star Wars: The Force Awakens. No one will
For your
bother
classic
you.
box, yeah.
Now
Yeah.
you might miss a
Sandwich
few
sandwich.
things. Like you might not understand a few things if you haven't seen the original trilogy, but I think you
But
can watch Episode 7 and still enjoy
Absolutely.
it. for
I
what
feel
I
like
agree.
episode 7 is a good jumping on point if you
I
don't
agree.
want to.
Well, they even
Touch
said
it.
that though, didn't they?
Well, yeah, that's-
It brought a lot of new love.
Episode 7, you can.
It brought a lot of new lovers of Star Wars to that franchise.
And that's another thing I want to point out about this is that they also didn't skip a beat with the timeline.
Yeah.
Like you look at this behind the scenes trailer and you see everything you saw from the original trilogy. They brought it all back in full force. Yeah, it just looks like Disney loves Star Wars. Everyone that's a part of these things loves Star Wars. They're not just putting like some dude who's never even seen the movie.
They're not
behind
putting
the camera.
Michael Bay behind the
Oh, I
reins.
knew you
Yeah.
were gonna say that.
And I'm
Well,
not
here's the
saying-
thing though.
I was
How
gonna
much
say-
money did?
I was gonna say Scott Snyder.
How much?
Mm.
You mean Zack Snyder? Because
Zack-
Scott Snyder, I would actually
Scott
like to see
Snyder.
him direct.
You know what? Yeah, I'd like to.
Why don't you
yeah,
put
I meant
Scott
Zack
in
Snyder.
the reins?
There
of the
Nice
are
next
too
job,
many
Bob.
goddamn Snyders.
I win.
Snyder's chips.
I
No, I
would.
mean think about it this way: then, how much money did Disney pay for Star Wars?
I can't
Not as
remember
much
now.
as they made.
Insane amount.
I think
So-
it was like
so first
3
off,
billion
like,
or something.
That one thing about Episode 7 is that like you were already going to have naysayers. You're already going to have people that were like, man, they're going to fuck up my childhood. That was up until the first trailer.
I think
now-
everyone shut up after the first trailer.
Absolutely.
I don't
Dude,
remember
honestly,
anything truly.
Four
negative.
billion.
I never really had
4
I never
billion.
really had a problem after I found out they bought him out because I was like, look what they've done with Marvel.
Oh yeah.
Like, whenever I first heard about Marvel getting bought out, I always hear rumors of like, they're going to stop printing comics, they're only worry about movies, light it up. But what they've done, they've brought more people to comics, into that culture, than what Marvel has done
Ever
prior.
since they
really.
bought Marvel and ever since they bought Star Wars, those two properties have come back in full force.
Dude, yes.
They're
4
pretty
billion,
much
so am
the
I.
two biggest properties
Well,
on
yeah.
store
The-
shelves at this point.
The biggest changes you've seen in Marvel movies before Disney and after Disney is alcohol use and smoking is almost minimal now. Where
No, dude.
like
Dude, they talk about weed in the Avengers. They bring up.
Yeah.
They say the
I
word
know, they
big
didn't
bag of
fuck
weed
around.
in the first Avengers movie. They bring. Dude, and,
don't
I mean, I know
the
it's
whole
not part of the
alcohol thing.
movie universe, but it's still
Tony
part
Stark's
of
an
the
alcoholic.
cinematic universe. Jessica Jones. Look at Jessica Jones, dude. There's
She
a
does
lot of
everything.
drinking, a lot of sex.
They never skipped a beat. They
No.
they knew exactly what they had and how they had to treat it.
But the way they've treated everything, it couldn't have been treated any better. Like, we want more, like Civil War and stuff, we want that story, but like, with what they're able to legally work with and what is sensible in a 2-hour movie, sometimes 2.5-hour movie, sometimes hour-and-a-half movie, the stories that they have given us so far are good condensed versions or like slight retellings or slight different interpretations than what we would have ever got prior to Disney owning that franchise.
real quick, speaking of like legalities and shit,
Because we do need to move on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Marvel it once again is putting the boot to Fox's neck.
Yeah, I
Wait,
saw
really?
the
For
whole
what?
Inhumans
Death of
are
Oh, yeah.
Death of X-Men. Like there are going to be no more New Mutants.
There will still be
And-
those characters, so they're just going to other books. But as
Yeah.
far as X-Men go,
Well,
apparently
is that what this book is? That what this story is about? Is they're trying to pretty much
Well,
like be
they're-
like, hey, X-Men's not going to be so fucking crazy anymore.
think so.
What's coming up is Inhumans versus X-Men. With the Terrigen Mists, they
The
kill
X-Men
mutants.
are starting to go extinct.
but
Or, I mean,
they're also
mutants are
they're
starting to go
sterilizing mutants as well.
extinct. Huh.
So
So
no
they're losing
new
their
mutants.
powers, or-
No,
Okay.
they're sterilizing them. They can't produce new mutants.
Ooh.
So for the past
so
couple
once,
of years
once
now,
the generation of mutants that is there dies off, they're dead.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Basically, X-Men is going to start dying down as far as like comics and toys and publicity and stuff like that, which is kind of Marvel pushing for getting all of the rights back from Fox.
Yeah.
that's kind of what they were doing with
because-
Fantastic Four too. Was
Yeah.
like,
Wow.
Well, with
Oh,
Secret
wow.
Wars, Fantastic Four
So
isn't a thing
they're
now.
going to be like,
They're
You
gonna
know
be
what?
bullies.
You don't want to give us your characters? We're just gonna kill the fucking franchise.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, that's
Well,
what they did with Fantastic Four,
This is
and that's
why
what they're
it's-
starting.
Wolverine. I mean, the
Yeah.
granted, that story apparently was pretty good. I haven't read it, but
What, Death of Wolverine?
yeah, but from what I've heard, that was kind of
Yeah.
a little shot to Fox. Like, come on, let's at least share
Yeah.
this shit.
So,
Sony
I
wised
I
up,
think
dude.
the only thing they couldn't have done that with is Spider-Man. Because he's too big.
And
Yeah.
they have shared rights with Spider-Man now, so
Yeah.
they're good with Sony, but Fox is still holding out.
Fox is a bunch of pieces of
So
Yeah.
shit.
And Paramount still partially owns the Hulk. That's one of the reasons why they haven't came out with a full-length Hulk movie since The Incredible.
They're supposed to be fixing that with Thor, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're squeezing them into these other movies that it feels like we're getting enough of it.
Okay, well, we could talk about Star Wars all day. I know I could, but let's move on to Comic-Con news. We've got a shit ton of it, especially thanks to all of these damn trailers, and we've got specifically 9 to talk about in between all this other news. So, we're going to hit these point by point, starting off with Justice League. They released this Justice League sizzle reel. Basically, some of the stuff that they've already shown in press releases and stuff that was more or less embargoed up to this point.
But there's a lot.
And it's
of
cut.
shit.
Yeah, it's cut together.
Like a trailer.
It's obvious. That's why they call it a sizzle reel, because it looks like they're just showing random shit, and they layered a little bit of music over it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got the sizzle reel, and I'm just gonna go because I know I'm the odd man out here at the table. I'm the only one who feels this way. I hate Barry Allen. I hate Bruce Wayne. I don't like them whatsoever.
I get your points on those.
Yeah.
We talked about this earlier.
Especially had all these fists coming at me.
It's like Bruce. We're talking like Bruce is a little too
goofy,
jokey,
playful
in some of these scenes.
That moment where he's talking with Wonder Woman. By the way, if you haven't seen it, these are all spoilers. I don't fucking care. At this point, we could keep forgetting to say spoilers.
I think we've kind of established a few episodes back that like if we're going to talk about something, we're going to probably fucking spoil it because
maybe we should just put it in the description.
If you don't like it, don't listen.
I think I did.
Go back and watch it. Come back.
I don't know.
I don't remember.
It's okay.
But anyways, he's talking to Wonder Woman about his interaction with Arthur Curry and whether he's going to join the team or not. And he says, more or less. Yeah, more or less. She's like, is that more or more or less? He's like, more or less. He said no. He said no. That's not Batman. Batman would be like, he's not going to join.
Yeah.
And that's it. Because they
You
just
don't wanna
saved
go.
themselves all that time, and now they can get other shit done. Because that's Batman. That's young Batman. That's middle-aged Batman. That's old Batman.
And there was a little part whenever he's talking to Barry, and he's telling him like, there's a threat coming. We need your help. And he's like, yes, stop right there. He's like,
Yes.
I'm in. And just this little look that Ben Affleck gives, it took away from that Bruce Wayne feel. He's just kind of smiling. He's like, really? Like that quick?
Yeah. No.
That's not what
I
you
need
know.
friends.
And then that line is part of the reason I hate Barry Allen. Is like he's not this. He's
Socially
always
awkward,
been
anxious.
a likable dude. He had friends. He has family. He has love options. Before he's the Flash. Yeah, he's cocky. He's funny.
Yeah.
He's not awkward funny. He's not goofy
Although I gotta
and
say,
bumbly.
I love the fact that he doesn't have the pencil mustache.
Oh God,
They
thank
did.
God.
What? But how are they going to explain?
Maybe
They're not.
maybe he grows one later.
It's
and-
Warner Brothers
Guys, I need some more
DC. They're
douchey.
not going
Yeah,
to.
they're not
They're
gonna
just going to
do shit.
skip over it because people made fun of it.
Exactly.
Warner Brothers DC.
But
God
the
damn it.
Flash suit.
I love the Flash.
The
Cool
suit
as shit.
was
so cool.
awesome.
Mhm.
I
will say that.
like Batman's slight differences in his new suit.
You know
I don't know
what?
if you
I
noticed, but
just
it's not
figured it
gray
out.
anymore, but it's all black. It's black on black, just different
Yeah.
shades of black.
Well,
His cowl is
no,
slightly different.
his cowl is supposed to be bluish.
I don't know.
From the press releases when they were talking about when they saw his costume, they described it as like an extremely dark, like faded blue.
I was gonna say if it's not blue, then it's just a slightly different shade of black. Because like with the big lineup of the Justice League, the big image that they released,
Maybe they'll
somebody took
maybe
that
they'll
and the good shot of him in the BVS suit and subtle changes, but like there are changes there.
Because if you look at the behind the scenes of Superman's suit from Batman vs Superman or Man of Steel, it's a very bright suit. It's a Superman costume, and then you watch those movies and it's so dark
muddied
and dim.
down. Yeah.
So maybe they'll just re-texture him. in the movie. But
Cyborg.
I just
Cyborg is probably one of my favorite.
Before we get to the Cyborg, I want to make. I just realized why the Flash suit looks familiar. It looks just like the Power Rangers costume.
Yeah, I've heard that so many times already.
Looks
Like
just
the
like
movie
Power
Power
Rangers
Rangers. Yeah.
And I would not put it past them to have been like, you know those concept arts of the Power Rangers? Let's fucking steal that.
Let's look at some
steal
of
that shit.
those
It's
drafts.
Power Rangers. Nobody's gonna care. Fucking hate you. Warner
Aquaman.
Brothers, DC.
Jason Momoa is Aquaman in this, dude.
He's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
He's
They're really.
I have a
DC is
heterosexual man
really
crush on Jason
trying
Momoa.
to
I have a
make.
heterosexual man crush.
They're really trying to make Aquaman so fucking cool. Like
They are.
they
is.
succeeded
Him
in
just
making him more
drinking.
interesting in the New 52.
He's
I
got
don't
the
know,
big like Bane coat on. The
Yeah.
third, like,
I don't know much about Flashpoint or post Rebirth. So
Aquaman.
I don't know much about him right now.
I know in the Throne of Atlantis story,
Okay.
they did make him like a drinker and shit. So like
Yeah.
that's why I was okay with him.
I
drinking in
saw
this.
a couple panels from one of the newer Aquaman comics, and he apparently got a javelin shot through his shoulder. He's talking to someone. He slams his shoulder into a wooden pillar and rips himself off of the javelin.
Damn.
So he's a
Wow.
badass.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's
Aquaman's
hot.
just a badass now.
And I love at the very end of that trailer when Bruce Wayne is pinned up against the wall by Aquaman. He goes, Arthur Curry, here you can talk to fish.
See-
Kind of gives him this little smirk.
Now,
That there seemed like Bruce Wayne to me.
I don't hate that because there are moments like
Yeah,
when
we're-
the Green Lantern and him first meet and he
Yeah.
takes his ring and stuff. He
He
no
does
stranger
some
to taking
shit like that.
shots at the other one.
And I think that was kind of a joke for the fans as well because that's the big thing. It's like,
Yeah.
what can he do? Control fish, talk to fish. Like that was just like a
Most people
we
don't
get
know
it.
that
And
he's got
sometimes
a lot
it's silly
more.
too.
Yeah. Cyborg was really was kind of cool. You didn't see too much of it.
Yeah,
No, but what you did,
You
like,
saw Vic before.
yeah, you see him walking with his Letterman
It's
jacket
awesome.
on, and then you see that shot when he said, what did he say? He's like, I didn't think that you existed. Talking to Batman, he said, I only exist when they need me or when I need to, or something along
And
those
I
lines.
didn't
but,
get
like,
that. I don't know what the fuck that meant. Like,
I
don't
didn't
know.
think you were real.
Yeah, he said,
I'm real when I need to be, or
Yeah,
when
I think
when
it's
there's
kind of
something
like
that.
I think it's kind of like a. They don't like to acknowledge that I exist.
I think it's
and
foreshadowing.
yeah.
He's just gonna hide behind the fucking rock.
He is.
He's just gonna keep hiding behind the rock. I got dark side.
I would shoot you with the smoke grenade. Okay.
I helped
Check
you
back
guys.
again. Seeing Wonder Woman in action again was
Oh.
awesome.
They did the whole gauntlets
Yeah.
thing, which I was like, okay, we've seen that. And then the rest of
I
it
just, God, I love
it's
that
very
actress,
cool.
dude. She's definitely
Yeah.
one of my crushes now.
Ooh.
She's been one since she
I'm-
was.
At the end of this whole thing, I'm underwhelmed. Like, it's
I'm-
just a sizzle reel. I know it's not the trailer. We don't really know much, so I'm not gonna like write the entire movie off. But I've had my reserves about this movie since before Batman.
One thing that kind of threw me off was why would Bruce Wayne, not Batman, but Bruce Wayne, be in a public place talking to who we already know as Arthur Curry,
Yeah.
saying that I'm building up a team of people.
Right, I didn't even think about that. That's so lazy.
It is.
Yeah.
It's almost like, I don't want you guys thinking about it much, but like, I'm building up a team of super-powered people. Don't try to connect the dots that like, wait, this
Unless
is
they're going to explain it
multi-millionaire.
as Wayne Enterprises is funding the Justice League.
Almost
I
like
mean,
like a Batman Incorporated.
Yeah,
thing.
kind of type of thing. And back in the day, they used to explain how he got a lot of his gadgets by, like, he gets donations from Wayne
Yeah.
because Wayne supports the Batman. So, yeah, I mean, they might explain it. They might not. Like I said, it's Warner Brothers DC.
So,
They're going to
sometimes
glance
they-
right over this
They might
mustache
glaze
thing.
over
so.
that shit. Yeah.
Uh,
All right, you want to go ahead and lead
Yeah.
into?
Speaking of Wonder Woman, how much we like her, the trailer from DC that I was really jazzed up about was Wonder Woman. She finally got her first trailer, and it is awesome. I cannot wait to see this medieval god battle crap happening on screen. I want it so bad. There's that big fight, like, and you only get to see a few seconds of it, but I was like, that's fucking it.
Dude, and
It's like-
there were some some quick scenes where she's fighting soldiers and stuff like that, because of course this takes place in like World War I.
Mm-hmm.
But her using that lasso and just kicking complete ass.
And that lasso got bright.
Like her costume is a lot brighter in this than it was in BBS.
Well, there's that, but also the tone of it seems to go the same Zack Snyder route. Whereas like everything is just so dark.
I can kind of see it
the
for that.
contrast in.
I can kind of see it for that era. Like the war, like I think of how many war movies are that kind of dingy color.
But at the same time, it makes the whip
they're-
stand out way too much. Like
Yeah.
it's like they just dropped it in there.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
like I said, there were so many scenes in that trailer where on their home island that I can never pronounce correctly.
Themyscira.
Yeah, that. Things actually have a brighter look. Like the scene where
Yeah,
Wonder
it is a
Woman
little more
walks
vibrant.
out, like during the fight between man and Amazonians, which I have something to say about that here in a second. Like you see, like her boots and her outfit,
her like
everything.
armored boots is pretty dope.
All of that, like you could see how
I forgot
vivid
about that.
it all really was in comparison to everything around her. And
Okay, yeah, I didn't really think about the Themyscira scenes. Yeah, okay. I don't know. I'm giving it a chance because I so far I really like Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And that theme plays at the end of the trailer.
I love that theme, dude.
Oh my god, that's so great. That's the perfect theme for her.
it is
Uh,
with the tribal drums playing behind it and all that. Yeah, love it.
Did you want to say your thing about Wonder Woman real quick before we transfer into the next thing?
It kind of ties into what we're about to go into with the reveal of Wonder Woman in Injustice 2.
Well, it's not that big of a reveal. We knew she was going to be.
Right.
She's more of the focus character on the trailer rather than
Yes.
like it's a new character.
Like, well, they got the reveal for Wonder Woman and Blue Beetle at San Diego.
Yeah.
So, but there was a scene. She was fighting Blue Beetle, and she said something along the lines of, "I'm an Amazon." I'm like, "No, you're not. You're an Amazonian." Like, for some reason, that irked me.
I don't know why that irks you, because they do call themselves both.
Yeah.
They're Amazonians.
Shut the fuck up.
You're not
the
an Amazon. You're not an entire fucking rainforest. No.
They do refer to themselves as both.
What he mentioned was Injustice.
Yeah.
Thanks for bearing the lead there.
Odle went ahead and dumped it, just so he can make his non-point. Injustice 2 got a little reveal, something really cool. I didn't expect this character, and that's the Blue Beetle. Is going to be.
He looks so badass.
He does. He looks good.
And in action, he looks awesome.
Well, because the reveal for him, he
scarab.
comes down, he's got like the normal looking eyes and all that.
Well,
talking.
that's actually one thing I brought to Vin earlier. Is like throughout this trailer, I don't know if it's gameplay because like, some of it would kind of not really make a lot of sense unless it's like the armor stuff that you were talking about.
Yeah.
But it showed Wonder Woman change skins. Like it showed her in the pants costume and like giving the different costume, and then Blue
Shield
Beetle,
changed and-
his helmet and his armor changed a couple times
It
throughout
does.
that.
Mhm.
I don't know if that was
Exactly.
just them showing different skins for that character, or
Well,
if it's actually.
if you watch the footage that's been released of like 90% of this stuff, especially in the first trailer, Batman like ends up. There's this point where he's just standing still, and his costume keeps getting armored, and then a little more armored, and then it looks kind of like the Batman Beyond suit. And then there's this point where Superman flies up, and his armored stuff starts coming out, and he even gets this like face apparatus thing on his chin or something.
But really, the only thing that changes on Wonder Woman is that she gains pants.
I've got pants there. I've lost most of my mobility.
Yeah.
I can't move as well anymore. I have pants instead of just the skirt.
Want me to hold some change for you? Sorry, I'm wearing girl pants. I don't have
Yeah,
pockets.
the Beatles are horrible. The pockets are horrible.
Yeah.
Beatles
She's
with
got her,
pants.
this is the perfect
Beatles
time to
with
get her
pants.
anti-Beatles agenda.
You really gotta. Most female pants come with Beatles.
Damn Beatles.
Truth.
Anyways, I think it's a gameplay thing. I think it's going to be a mechanic in the game because one of the things in the early game was their suits are more armored because they were going up against Superman.
Yeah.
But at the same time, did they really need it? Because they had these little pills to make them indestructible like Superman. So, yeah. But at least now I feel like it's going to serve some sort of functionality. But yeah, that was a pretty cool one. And just so you're keeping track, we've got Gorilla Grodd, Atrocitus of the Red Lanterns. We've got Blue Beetle, Batman, Superman, obviously. We're gonna have Aquaman.
We're gonna have the main characters.
Yeah, the main Justice League. I feel like I think Cyborg's already been seen.
It's fun to see like some of these extra characters that they're going to be adding in, like Blue Beetle,
like the B or C-list characters that you weren't necessarily expecting.
Well, yeah, and they did that with the other one. Raven was a character in the last one. She was actually a pretty important character. Nightwing, obviously. Honestly, I don't think Nightwing's going to be in this one. That might be disappointing for you, but maybe
if they do, I hope they do an Agent 37 skin. Or like a DLC, so that like his weapons are all different.
Yeah,
his fighting
maybe a DLC
different.
character. I would like to see Red Hood, because he wasn't in the last one either. But
yeah, another thing to note real quick about Blue Beetle.
Have you ever played the Injustice games?
I don't think I have.
Probably not then. If you got to think that hard about it, you probably have.
It's Mortal Kombat with superheroes.
It's not Mortal Kombat versus DC.
What platform is it on?
All of them.
The first one came out on last gen.
It was 360.
I think they want to come out with like a special edition for the new gens, just because.
Yeah, with all the DLC and stuff.
While we're on the topic of video games, you guys see that Marvel Ultimate Alliance and Ultimate Alliance 2 are coming in next gen?
Oh, yes.
Oh, no, what? Yes?
Yeah.
What's happening? Fuck yeah! Oh, no, I heard about it.
I just made Benny's day.
Dude, I heard about this. I've been wanting to play both of them, but I've never gotten to play those games. I know so much about them.
They're going to be 40 apiece or both for 60.
Yes. They're releasing these on disc?
I'm not sure if it said on disc or if it's going to be strictly digital, but I know it's coming fairly soon.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Especially because the second one is the Civil War storyline.
Yeah.
Pretty much as in all its glory as it can be. Stunning. I'm usually keep track of my notes. Anyways. Okay, moving on from that really cool news. Which you probably should have brought up when we got into Marvel. But moving on to more DC news. CW had a couple trailers for Flash Season 3 and Arrow Season 5. Arrow Season 5... Okay, just to explain this, Flash is going into Flashpoint, and if you know anything about Flashpoint, it changed the DC Universe into the New 52, which leads us into Rebirth, where they're realizing, oh man, we lost all this stuff, who took this out of our lives? Anyways, so Flashpoint makes a difference, and since Flash and Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow are all set in the same universe...
And now Supergirl.
Not set in the same universe yet. They haven't done that. Flashpoint is a way to get her there, but they haven't revealed anything like that yet. Anyways, it stands to suggest that Arrow would be deeply affected, and looking at this trailer, it doesn't seem like it
doesn't look like it affected at all.
Yeah, like absolute zero accountability. And that bothers me.
And well, a lot of times, it seems like the only connections they have is like not counting their crossover episodes. Yeah. But it says they'll mention a name from a character from the opposite show.
Yeah.
There's
or reference like
past. Oh yeah, Cisco helped me make this costume or something along those lines.
Yeah.
But it's not like events from one show is affecting the other show.
Yeah.
Now
it maybe very untouched.
Maybe they'll see this season of Arrow out, and then put the changes into the next one. But I don't
it feels
see
like
why
it wouldn't. It feels like it would be out of place.
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't just do it right now.
I feel like a lot of the stuff we saw in the Arrow trailer, I feel like that could potentially be stuff from one half of the season, either first half or second half.
Well, I also feel like maybe Flash from their trailer, it's obviously a new universe. Things have changed, but I feel like eventually they're going to get back to that. So they're not going to erase everything they've done. So eventually, whether it's this season or next season, they'll get back to where they were at the end of season 2. So maybe they can explain it by having a couple interactions with the Arrow of this new Flashpoint universe, and then just say that at the end of the season, when everything gets turned back to normal, that's why Arrow wasn't touched. Because
they were able to.
Essentially never happened.
Technically never happened because Barry's said it all
They
right.
reversed the polarity.
They reversed the polarity.
They took the
Which was a
battery
thing
out.
in Ghostbusters. That was the big thing.
Oh my
They
God.
reversed polarity.
They reversed polarity on everything in that movie.
Got a problem? Reverse the polarity.
Guys.
There you go.
Guys, I think the oil
Needles in your
needs
pockets?
changed to the Ecto 1. Well, let's just reverse the polarity real quick. Anyways, yeah, it's a little bothersome, but I guess we figured out how they could figure it out.
Yeah, just reverse the polarity.
Hopefully they're listening to this. And they reversed the polarity. Is there anything else you guys wanted to say about that?
I think
we touched all
kind
bases on that one.
covered all the SDCC DC news.
Yeah.
It's a lot of letters.
So, okay, let's go ahead and jump across the pond here to Marvel.
No.
To Marvel's territory.
Canada?
And let's talk about some of these Netflix shows. I think the most exciting of which is Luke Cage.
Yay!
Wow, that trailer.
God.
God.
Like we got our little teaser there at the end of Jessica Jones.
Mhm.
If
Where
you
he
watch,
talks about he's tired of buying shirts.
Yeah.
if you haven't seen the teaser, he's in a gym and he's got a bunch of guys in front of him, and he says something to them. They shoot him, and it doesn't do anything. He's like, "Man, I'm getting real tired of having to buy new clothes."
Yeah.
And that's all we got
Yeah.
until now, where we got a full-length trailer that was so badass.
I can't even I haven't followed Luke Cage throughout his entire career. I know who he is, I know where he comes from, and I've read adventures that he's been a part of, but I've gotten up to date so little on him that I have no idea what's happening in this trailer. All I know is that it's awesome.
I just wanted to see him in the yellow shirt with the big chain. I think at some point we're obviously going to get the yellow shirt, and we were talking. Me and Alpha Spectre were talking about this earlier, talking about that teaser they gave us at the end of Jessica Jones, saying that he's tired of buying new clothes. He's going to probably get some kind of bulletproof
You know what? Yeah, that was
shirt, and the only color it
Except for in
comes
the
in
comments.
is yellow.
Well,
Or
because
the
I really hope
comics,
that's the case.
that's not how it works.
no, his shirt is not bulletproof.
Yeah.
It gets ripped to shreds all the time.
Yeah.
So,
But I want to see him he better at some point throughout the season have a chain and beat somebody with a chain.
Oh, I'm sure
I
he
hope
will.
so.
Because in that scene, we see him just rip a fucking pipe out of the
Yes,
wall
dude.
and beat someone. We see him wrap a car door around someone.
Dude, that taking the car door, come in,
That
and
was
just taking everybody out of
awesome.
that car door, and then,
Everything
like
about
you
it
said,
was
holding
awesome.
it around that dude was just,
Oh,
it just showed
man.
the brute strength of him again. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you wonder
what he
what
is
is this
capable
guy's
of.
limits. Yeah.
And one of the
a
things,
shotgun to the head.
Apparently,
was.
that'll put you down.
Yeah.
one of the
Poor
things that I
man.
wrote down here was that they started talking about Rima, which was his
His
wife.
Yeah.
And I thought that was a good nod to the only other place that you're going to know about that is either if you've read the comics or if you watched
Watch
Jessica
Jessica
Jones. So,
Which you should.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You better watch it.
Yeah, you actually get a good introduction, a fairly decent introduction to the character of Luke.
It's
you
gonna
get
be
a
great.
great introduction.
Oh yeah, I
yeah.
mean, especially in comparison. But I mean, like, as far as how he's acquired those abilities, he mentions them, but you don't find out about like how he.
And I hope that they do that in his show, but I don't know how in depth they'll get on because
they do an Arrow Island-esque type
Oh,
flashbacks
God.
constantly.
no, because
in the flashbacks, he has the Jew fro.
oh my
He has,
god, okay.
he has the mini fro
that
with
would be
Oh
okay.
my
tiara.
god.
But I feel
What
like
if the tiara is like part of whatever experiment he has, and it's just a headpiece, and it only breaks out? And there's at least a few seconds in a scene where he's
They're
wearing
probably going to do that.
They
yeah,
I hope so.
want that because it's a prison experiment.
Yeah.
Or like they say that they'll shorten his sentence if he undergoes this experiment while he's in prison for being wrongfully accused of a crime.
Mhm.
He goes through the experiment, and that's what gives him his abilities. And you saying that just makes me want that so bad. The fro and it.
You hear that? Netflix and Marvel. Do it.
It's pretty
Do
much
it.
already done.
Do
It's
it.
coming out in a
No.
month and a half.
they
Do it now.
can do a redraft.
Hey, if Suicide Squad could go back and do reshoots,
Yeah.
just
Right.
a couple
Okay.
months away from the movie coming out.
That's fair. That's fair.
Shane, are you up on any of the
Um,
Marvel Netflix?
I got through both seasons of Daredevil.
Ooh, yeah.
Um,
So you're doing all right. The only other thing is
Flash.
Jessica Jones.
yeah. Well, we're just talking about
definitely that.
Marvel.
Well, yeah, my bad.
Yeah, Jessica Jones, such a great show.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah,
It took me a while to get started too. I just finished it like 2 months ago,
Yeah.
and it's been out for well over a year.
Yeah.
So,
It's so worth it, man.
but yeah, I was very happy with it. I'm excited for the second season.
Oh yeah.
Meow, Jessica. Let me tell you what that is about. I made it a mission to try and find a picture of a cat in a purple suit.
Did it work?
And then I was going to put Meow Jessica on it, and I could not find that picture.
Make that picture.
And I was so sure that picture was going to get me laid, too. I was like,
I would fuck you.
I made this.
Aww.
Someone's going to sleep with me for it.
It would have been me.
Oh.
All right, Odle, do you actually want to...
Yeah,
Yeah.
You want to go ahead and go into the
Yeah.
next one? Since
So,
this is your boy?
The next one we get, and it's just a teaser. It wasn't even a full minute. It was just a teaser for Iron Fist, and it's so great because
Who is Danny Rand?
the first thing that we see is him in a helicopter, a
Airplane?
crashing helicopter. Is it?
I think it's an airplane. Because the oxygen mask thing came down and I could see there was
Yeah,
a
I'm pretty sure it
window.
was an airplane.
And
Maybe we shouldn't
Yeah.
let you take this out.
Anyway,
Cut it
he's
out.
in there with his mom, and they crash in the mountains, and you see this iPod on the ground, which
An
is
old
great,
iPod.
because it's an old iPod. So this happens a while back, and then
Years.
you see
Decades.
these monks, and that right there,
Staring at an unconscious kid.
that right there geeked me out because that
Creepers.
means that
Yeah.
we're in the right place.
Yes.
Mhm.
And it shows him in a like an insane asylum type bed where he's strapped down, and then the next thing you see is he just punches a fucking wall out,
Like
and
a ginormous hole in a brick wall, not like a drywall wall, but like bricks, everything fly off. He
Yeah.
looks like a rabid bum.
yeah, and he does. He has like a scraggly beard, shaggy hair, everything. He's just in this like tattered gray.
Like almost like hospital clothing. What do
Yeah.
you call it? Like a gown, not a
And-
gown, but yeah.
And the only thing that kind of got me sad was the fact that they had a perfect opportunity to, when that wall came flying out and he was standing there, to have his fist just glowing a little bit, but they didn't.
No. It'll
But-
probably be a slower build, just something like that. This teaser, it looks cool. I'm not gonna say I'm excited yet. I'm definitely more excited for Luke Cage, but I definitely want to see the next trailer.
But as a
Like,
character
wanna
that I
know
don't
this
know a
is.
lot of history, like I've learned
Yeah.
more about Iron Fist like probably in the past year or so because of you
Yeah, same.
than I have ever. It was always like, it's the kung fu dude with the giant collar, like, and the fucking giant chest tattoo. He's like a big tool, but come find out he's a pretty cool character. But just from what I've seen in this trailer, this teaser, me personally, it didn't really get me any more excited than like, fuck yeah, they're finally in production.
Well, and that's the thing.
But for you,
oh my God.
it's like, oh my god, there's the monks. You notice things like you knew what it was building up to. One thing I was excited about was I just thought that the new dragon logo, where it's a little bit askew to make the O and the Iron Fist logo, was cool.
Well, but for so long there was talk about Iron Fist getting canceled or like not going to happen because they weren't sure how to.
Didn't
how
they
to
switch
incorporate-
gears? So they were like, we're gonna make it a movie instead.
Well,
They-
they were kind
they
of jumping
talked
back and
about that.
forth, and then finally they were like, no worries, it is going to be made. See,
And
I heard before that it
this
was
is
going to be, each
confirmation.
one of these shows were going to kind of have their own overall theme feel to it. Like, Jessica Jones is definitely the more like, supposed to be like more like a detective noir type.
Yeah.
Iron Fist is supposed to be a little more old school kung fu
Yeah.
movie.
Luke Cage,
I didn't really necessarily get that out of this teaser, but like you said, it was like a less than a minute, so can't really judge it on that.
I can't pinpoint what Luke Cage's feel.
Luke
is gonna
Cage,
be.
I feel like it's going to be like that old Harlem gangster.
Yeah, almost like a
feel.
Shaft, like
Yeah.
come in,
Because-
bust ass.
Definitely Shaft. Like,
Cage. That's exactly.
So, and
he's a
then
bad mother.
I want an appearance of Danny in Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Oh, there has to be.
Well, we were talking about this. What did we say? At the end of Luke Cage, he should meet Danny Rand or something. And at the end of Iron Fist, Luke Cage should come and help him. And then the next season isn't Luke Cage season
Power
2.
Man and Iron Fist.
Yeah,
Well,
you get a Heroes for Hire
So,
TV show. out
do
of
you
that.
think that Danny's going to get his costume, like
I don't think they're
earlier in the
just
season,
I
or are they
going
going
to
to do like a
that.
Daredevil season 1
I
where
think
it's
we're
a
gonna
big
get
build
that.
up to the very end?
I don't see him getting that kind of costume.
No, I don't see him getting like the big collar
I don't think
costume
so.
or anything like that.
He better get the mask.
He'll get the mask.
Get a like
I think
more
it'll
of
be
the,
more of the white suit
that one. Yeah, that's what I was
without the
thinking.
collar and the dragon symbol on the front.
Yeah.
Either
I
that
want the
or
big
it's going to
collar.
be like the all new, all different, like they have going
Or,
on
yeah,
right
it's
now.
like
That's
the-
kind of like almost like a jogging suit,
like a
tracksuit.
Yeah.
Either one of those I'd be fine with, as long as he has the mask with the super fucking long ties coming off the back.
Now, you get Luke Cage, Iron Fist, Daredevil, and Jessica Jones together, and you get one hell of a team called the Defenders, which is the next trailer, well, like super short teaser,
And I
which
loved
doesn't
that
even
they
have any
chose
footage.
Nirvana's "Come As You
Yeah,
Oh, I love that.
The broken, fractured "Come As You Are" in the background. You got newspapers and
It's like the papers are tearing,
clippings.
revealing letters.
yeah,
From,
eventually
like, the
revealing that it says
Defenders, but like the D was the Daredevil D.
Yeah.
And, like, they used letters from all those logos.
And then in the background, you've got Stick, one of the guys who trained Daredevil, saying, "You think you're ready? You think you're ready to help people? You can't even help
You
yourselves."
think you're ready to save people? You
Save-
can't even
yeah,
save
save
yourselves.
And so we now know that Stick is probably going to be the guy who brings them together.
He's going to be
he's
their
in-
Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's going to be interesting because
Instead
of
of being
how...
half blind, he's all blind.
Aw.
But which is going to be interesting because Stick is that very like gray area kind of guy.
Yeah,
saying it 'cause
he's an
old?
anti-hero. You don't know exactly what team he's playing for at exactly what time.
Yeah. So him bringing them all together, we know we're getting the show. We know they're all coming together. We just don't know why yet.
Yeah, it's all speculation. Like we said, there's not really anything in this trailer. So much more than just we know Stick's going to be a part of it, and we know all the players on the team.
Yeah.
That's it.
Or at least some of the players. They might. I was like, are they going to bring in Punisher to this? I know that he's getting his own
That was
thing.
the
but, like,
Defenders.
you never like. I don't necessarily need. I mean, maybe
It's
maybe
not
not
like
necessarily.
Punisher
the team.
has jumped into the Secret Defenders before.
Yeah,
so.
but this show is specifically supposed to be about Jessica, Daredevil,
And-
Luke Cage, and Iron Fist.
I wish it were kind of like the Secret Defenders, but because one of my favorite things about that is that team changed constantly.
Yeah.
There was always someone popping in and out. But I mean that's also wishful thinking because that's way too many licensing like shows that have not been set up.
Yeah.
But let's talk about something that we do have a lot of information on, a lot of time in with, and that's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and the reveal that they are bringing Ghost Rider in.
Which we speculated on a couple episodes ago about they teased that train car.
It wasn't a
subway
train.
car.
I'm telling you, it's a bus.
It was a subway
it's a
car.
fucking bus.
It was a subway car.
It was a subway train bus car.
It was a busway car. But it showed the fiery chains. And some of the speculation tied into one of the characters from this last season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where he could essentially set things on fire and make them explode.
Yeah.
But we have officially found out that it is Ghost Rider coming to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Now, I'm a little apprehensive about this. Not that I don't want to see Ghost Rider. I just don't know how he fits in to all this.
Well, when was the last time we got a Ghost Rider comic? It's been since Marvel Now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was a completely different kind of Ghost Rider.
I did not read that comic.
It was weird. But I think that's the direction they're going to go with this. It's because there were two of them. One was handicapped, one wasn't. And
Was he in a fiery wheelchair?
No, that'd be hilarious. But I
I
feel like they're going to tie in the Inhumans with Ghost Rider now.
So Ghost Riders and Inhuman.
I don't know, because that's been the
I
big
don't
thing
want
with
it.
Agents of
Yeah, I
S.H.I.E.L.D. has
don't
been
want that.
Inhumans.
No.
So-
It sucks. I hate it.
But
Too many Beatles.
all we
Too
know right
Paul's
now
dead.
is that this next season of
Jonathan's dead.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to have Ghost Rider. That's all we know.
I'm intrigued by the concept. I just, honestly, I can't come up with a way that it works, other than, I guess, this Inhumans idea, and that it works, but it's gross.
But think of how
It feels lazy.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and all of the Netflix shows, everything, like, they all tie in together into the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Ish. All the shows are connected loosely to the movies. The movies don't really even acknowledge any of those shows.
No.
Barely.
But
Like even
that's
the
the thing.
Netflix shows, there's only background things, or like you see news articles where they mention the attack in New York and stuff
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
But
it's those small nods that let us know this is all the same universe. This all happens in the
That-
same universe.
And the fact that Marvel Studios has come out and said this is all,
all
the same universe.
But
That was a quick tip off.
no, I still wasn't sure. I still wasn't sure.
But yeah, it could be good, it could be bad, just like everything in Agents of
And
S.H.I.E.L.D.
we've only got like a month or two to go before some of these reveals start actually happening when these shows come back on air this fall.
Now, one thing that was, up to this point, has been reported on very little. Like, the only thing I remember hearing was that there was an idea for a show. And then that was the last thing. But there's an X-Men show coming out, a live-action X-Men show called Legion.
Really?
Yes.
You didn't catch
And,
No, I must
You didn't
have
see
missed
that
this
trailer?
news.
yeah, I posted it to the SMC if you want to watch it later. But, yeah, what I get from it, and again, I don't keep up with X-Men because there's so much going on. Too much going on. But what I'm getting from it is it's a New Mutants story. I'm thinking that, I don't know exactly which team it would fall into.
I don't know.
Like, I'm not deeply ingrained enough in it. It looks kind of interesting, but at the same time, it's one of those things I feel like we can do without. Because
Who's it going to be going through?
it feels like it's one of those things that, like, if I was to miss it,
FX.
it wouldn't
I'm
be.
pretty sure it's going to be on
Probably
FX.
considering it's Fox.
Yes,
owned.
it's up.
Fox.
Yeah, she just looked it up. It's going to be on
Fact checking
FX.
now.
And so, yeah, it's going to be disconnected from everything. We don't need this.
No.
If it were a full-on X-Men TV show, I'd be like, okay, it's probably going to suck, but let's do it.
Right? But no, like, okay, realistically, New Mutants issue 1 through 86 was relatively meaningless. Not a whole lot of people really know or care about the majority of the mutants in there. The only major one that people remember in early issues is Magic from issue 14, because she's still kind of relevant sometimes. Like,
And I have no idea who she is, so that
She's
shows you
actually-
how relevant
she's in one of the new, I think, Uncanny Avengers.
Really?
Or she's in one of the current ongoing books. But other than that, 87 you get Cable, 98 you get Deadpool, 100 it ends. There's your important New Mutant issues.
I think Kitty Pryde was a big part of Volume
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
So,
But that's volume 2.
but that's Volume 2, yeah.
Well, and then has it been said what exactly this is going to be, like, based off of?
No, but I mean, you kind of get a gist of at least maybe the first few episodes from this trailer, which is just this guy having powers that I'm not sure if he knows the full potential to. There's some people that are like, well, this is what they said is the most powerful mutant we've ran into.
And I feel like if they were going to put Xavier in it, they would have made reference to that. So
I feel like too,
don't-
because those are big things. I'd be like, oh,
I
I know
don't
that
think
guy.
we're
He's
going-
from X-Men. So
Yeah, I
okay,
don't think
this
we're
is
going to the home, the school for the gifted. I also seriously doubt it's going to be connected to the movies at all.
No.
This is, I mean, this
But
is
half
Fox
the
Marvel.
half the
so-
movies aren't even connected to the movies anymore.
Right.
Jesus.
So yeah, I think it's safe to say no one's really
One
too
article
excited
called
for
it a
this one.
spin-off. which I hate and don't want that either.
But moving on to something that we are kind of excited for, and it's
Yeah.
really just an announcement. We don't have a trailer or anything yet, but Captain Marvel has finally been cast.
Yay!
Yeah.
And the woman cast in her spot is Brie Larson. And if you don't know who that is, the best way I can point it out to you, if you've seen Scott Pilgrim versus the World, she plays Envy Adams, who's the lead singer of what was it they call?
Sex Bomb?
No, not Sex Bomb. That was his Clash of Demon Head.
Yeah,
She's the lead singer of Clash of Demon Head and Scott's big ex. Yeah, she's the one dating Fiona's
The vegan guy.
vegan guy. Yeah, Brandon Routh. Yeah. Anyways, yes, that's
also
Brie
in the new
Larson.
Skull Island
She is
Yes,
also
she
in
is.
Kong Skull Island.
with Loki and Nick
That
Fury
I
and Fred
just
Flintstone.
murdered that sentence. But
And
we're going to
Fred
be
Flintstone.
talking about that here soon. You guys excited for Captain Marvel?
I
Are
actually
you
am.
underwhelmed, or are you like,
I-
man?
I'm not super familiar with the character, but I'm all about like you're gonna give me a kick-ass female character, I'll watch it.
She was
Now,
playing,
I was
This-
kind of into
Sophie.
the idea of Ronda Rousey when they kept playing with that.
I
was
wasn't.
like, I don't know if she can act. So
No,
I don't know if
and-
she could be a great
that
actress.
and that and it
Yeah.
only took me a couple weeks to like just be sick of her.
You know what
Yeah.
though? That's only because she lost that fight.
No, it's not even that. It was
I-
before
like,
that.
A
fight.
lot of people were on
It
her
was just
side
like, oh man,
because
she's such a badass.
she was a badass. Have you seen her
Yeah, oh
fight?
yeah, she is. She'll kick
Yeah.
my ass. But I'm just like, okay, I get it.
She fucked me up.
I just don't. It's kind of like what you said. How well does she act? I think the only thing she's ever been in is this new Entourage movie.
No, she was in Expendables 3.
Oh, I
Was
didn't watch
she?
Expendables
And
after the
there was
first one
another
or two
movie
or
here
7
recently she
or
was
whatever.
in.
it is.
But
No, Fast Furious 7.
I need to see.
I didn't watch any of those. I
There's
think
also
the second
another
or
one,
third
because
one.
that's not the one I'm thinking
There's
of.
just way too many.
I need to see Expendables 3 again.
As far
I
as
didn't know she
getting
was
a
in
Captain
Really
Marvel
Expendables
movie,
too.
I'm excited because it's going to tie in to Guardians of the Galaxy
Mhm.
because her and Peter Quill have a kind of love interest between them off and on, and she saves his ass a few times. He's like, okay, thanks, and they do stuff.
I
But-
hope it
In the
leads.
biblical manner.
I kind of hope it leads to her and Rhodey, because that happens.
Yeah.
And then Civil War 2.
It's like, we get a
Oh my God.
Captain Marvel movie. Civil War 2.
Oh.
Huh. Well, that was quick.
They did not
Now they're
leave-
out of material to make movies on.
Nope, Captain Marvel 2, Civil War 2.
No.
God damn it.
No.
No, they'd have to wait till the third. Because Captain America
Yeah, that
3,
is-
Civil War, Captain Marvel 3, Civil War 2.
This looks familiar.
This, I don't know.
I think it's gonna be fun. I've been reading the book and it's pretty good.
She's a cool character.
I think I'm gonna drop the book once it's over though, because they're getting ready to. Well, they're getting
For
ready
sure.
to after this Marvel Now starts. Captain Marvel #1 is on the lineup, so I'm
Yeah.
like, that's tiresome. I think I'm gonna finish this
There's
run.
I
so
hate
many
that.
strange books on this Marvel Now.
Yeah,
lineup,
right?
too.
The one that I think I mentioned it earlier, the one that is bothering me the most is that they're gonna stop Amazing Spider-Man. That's no longer gonna be in production,
Then-
and they're doing Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, which they already did during the last Marvel Now run. So is this a sequel? Are they remaking it? What the fuck are they doing?
Didn't they do something during this new Secret Wars too, as far as Renew Your Vows go? I didn't keep up with Secret Wars. It was just too much
I
going
didn't
on.
read Renew Your Vows. I know it's about Peter and Mary Jane.
I have them.
Do you?
I've never read them.
I need to read them. But this one, the cover for this new one is going. It has a little girl on the front. So I mean, obviously Spider Girl. So
Yeah.
So maybe that's where that one's going.
I don't know.
It's bullshit.
Some of these relaunches are getting
Well, they're getting fucking ridiculous.
Just some
is
of the
what it
books.
is.
Like I was looking through the Marvel Now preview,
Yeah.
and there's just so many books that it looks like are going to be so unnecessary and no one's going to read. So
And then about-
why do this?
My
And about
pool's
50
gonna be
variants for
cleaning up.
each one.
Yeah. My
So-
pool's going to be cleaning up a whole lot here soon
I need to clean up.
because of
Yeah.
Marvel. No, I mean not cleaned out. I mean, like,
No, I mean, clean, like,
yeah, I'm
cutting
like,
shit off.
I don't need
yeah,
this.
that's my.
I've already decided to drop Captain America after this whole Hydra story.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I'm just not excited about him. Like, it's Captain America. He's there, he's necessary. I would never want to get rid of him, and I like the character, but I just do not want to read the book.
You want to move on to our final Marvel
Yeah.
reveal here? Marvel news.
Oh my god.
There's markings all over.
You made a mark. Oh my
There's
God,
like
see?
40
Oh
on
my
you.
God, there's ink all over
What
you.
am I gonna do, guys?
It looks like it's under your skin
Maybe if
as
we
well.
shake them vigorously.
Alright,
Got you guys.
That might work.
you say shaking vigorously.
Alright, guys, moving on to our last bit of Marvel news. Doctor Strange had a new trailer drop, and the first one I was like, okay, cool. This one I'm like, whoa,
Dude,
holy
oh
shit.
God.
Yeah,
I want it so bad.
You watch this trailer and it's like it's a trip.
Yeah.
It is a trip.
It feels like what a Doctor Strange comic would feel like in real life.
Yeah, if you're
It's like
familiar with the character and they're like
planes-
Doctor Strange movie, this is what
I
you're
love-
Planes and realms are folding in on each other, and
This is gonna be the tips.
This is gonna be, and she would know.
I would know.
But
Literally fixing
like
it
in the
now.
first one, we get a lot of really good glimpses of stuff. Like we see a lot of before he becomes Doctor
Yeah.
Strange. Like we see
this
what
you
he's
see him
actual-
after he's at least while he's still training.
I'm gonna say there's a lot of training
I
time.
like the training clips that
And-
they showed.
Oh,
There's one quick scene that I loved. It's closer to the end of the trailer, but where he has his cape and he just throws it and it lays perfectly on his
That's
shoulders
what I
and
was
clips
about to
on.
say.
Like
and that right there, that shows what we kind of suspected, that the cloak is probably a sentient cloak.
Yeah,
Because
what
he
we were
just
talking
tosses
about
it.
while he's going up the hallway.
And so, but like the buildings, like falling in
Yeah,
on
they're
themselves and
folding
making like
into a whole
the,
new plane.
the orbs
And then
almost.
they were walking on the side of a building, but it
they
was
were
landscape.
upright,
Yeah,
and it's so trippy, but it's so Doctor Strange.
I have a feeling that I might be in a slightly altered state when I go watch this movie.
I wouldn't blame you.
I might join you.
I would, I don't know, maybe rip a sheet of acid or two.
I mean, sure.
Guys, don't make any plans to do hard drugs on this podcast. That's gonna go out there.
I was just talking
we're
about-
not encouraging drug use.
Maybe not
We're
the
just
smartest
saying
admission.
that
No, I'm going
I'm
to drink
gonna huff
battery
paint.
acid, is what I'm saying.
Oh, there you go.
I feel like they're encouraging you to be on an acid trip while you watch this movie, because then you go insane.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna show up in the movie theater naked,
Uh,
a bottle of lotion and a bottle of
One thing that I felt was a little
Oh,
out of
Rob.
place in this trailer,
lotion.
but at the same time, it was a funny little one-liner. Was the whole when he gets handed that piece of paper at the end of the trailer? He's like, "What is this? My mantra?" He's like, "No, that's a Wi-Fi password. We're not savages here."
I loved that.
It was
Yeah.
funny, but it felt like at least in that trailer, it was out of place. Like everything was kind of serious. Like you need to train. You need to like. How did you become a great surgeon? Well, I studied and I practiced. Or like, well, that's I. I mean, it was all very
Yeah.
intense and it built up. And it was like, oh yeah, it's a Wi-Fi password. Like it. I don't know. It felt like it was a little out of place, but at the same time, it was a fun little note to end on.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, shit's gonna go crazy. Shit's gonna go
And then-
wild. But we're still gonna have a few jokes.
Seeing
in
the
there for you.
villain, like we actually got
Yeah.
a really good look at the villain this time.
I'm.
And I, of course, not having really read Doctor Strange, I don't know anything. about
Me
this
either.
guy.
But like I have the up to
Turkeys.
current with the new series going
Well,
on. I just haven't
Explain
caught
to
up
us,
on it.
Chelsea, who this villain
Oh.
is.
Tell us.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Fucking
I-
turkey. Fucking turkey.
You guys should know this.
He looks wicked.
Yeah.
Strange.
All right, moving on from Marvel and DC.
Yeah,
Let's
let's try
talk about some of this other San Diego Comic-Con news. We got this one might have been beforehand, I'm not sure, but Legendary Pictures finally picked up the rights to make a live-action Pokemon movie. And instead of going for the obvious live-action Ash Ketchum adventure where he goes up against the Pokemon League, but he loses, but he learns a lot about himself and his Pokemon.
Yeah.
No, they're going to go for the obscure Japanese game that's had somewhat of a cult following here, big demand to bring it and port it over to our systems, and a big demand for the main character, to be voiced by Danny DeVito, and that is Detective Pikachu.
I don't want a character to be voiced by Danny DeVito. I want
I don't-
Danny DeVito in a Pikachu costume. Yes.
I don't know how I feel about Danny DeVito voicing Pikachu.
And that's the thing.
Imagine
it is
Danny
a-
DeVito saying
it
Pika
is-
Pika. Pikachu.
Talking
Pikachu.
Pikachu that goes around and solves crimes. And this is their brilliant first live-action property. People have been bidding after this thing for a while. They've been bidding after these rights for the longest fucking time.
And this is what they
And
decided to do?
this is our first run out of the box. This is Dragon Ball Evolution all over again.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Starting in
No.
Yeah. Okay, what happened?
no.
People were trying to get those rights for fucking ever. And what was it? Fox finally gets them. Fox finally gets these rights, and they're like, we could make this epic adventure about a little boy who meets a girl, and they go on this great fucking journey to find the 7 magic Dragon Balls, but eventually have to throw away their wish and their basic desires to save the world. No. They go, what if he was in high school, and his grandpa was wisecracker, and maybe Piccolo's antennas is stuck into his head.
I love it.
I feel like a fucking redneck made this movie. Like some drunk redneck never saw it before. It was like, let's call him Giku, because he's a nerd.
Them Dragon Balls.
Look at them Dragon Balls.
Like that.
You gotta make
and
Dragon Ball set.
let's take a moment and think about some of the films that Legendary has made.
Dude, Legendary has made some fantastic films. Legendary has made some B-list, C-list, like, horror flicks that are just like, man, Legendary seems like they just will take risks. Whether it might be a good movie, it might be a bad movie. They're like, fuck it, it's weird and obscure, we'll do it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we're probably going to lose money on this.
Which is why it's kind of understandable that they would be like, you know what, we could make the movie everyone wants, but let's make the movie nobody's asking for.
Yeah.
Nobody said they don't want this movie, so we'll do it.
Nobody's screaming not to do it right now, but that's because nobody knows we're doing it.
Now that everyone knows we're doing it, they're telling us to stop, but it's too late.
Too late now. We already said it. We got to do it. All right. So moving on from that abomination, The Walking Dead season 7 trailer. Is it season 7?
I mean, yes.
Yes, it's season 7. That trailer came out, and oh my god, nigga.
Dude, fucking Ezekiel and Shiva. The second that I saw that tiger come into...
Everyone was so worried because they would not talk about the tiger. They never said, like, they would talk about Ezekiel and all that. They're like, yeah, he's coming and blah, blah, but they'd always forget to mention the tiger, and everyone was like, they're not going to put a tiger in there, are they? Fuck no, there's a tiger.
Fuck, yes.
There's a fucking tiger.
Welcome to the goddamn kingdom.
Where did they find a tiger in a zombie apocalypse?
And
zoo.
Man, and Negan, of course, is... Jeffrey Dean Morgan. He commands every scene he's ever in. Anything.
He
And
has
he eats up
such an
that
air of
fucking theater.
intimidation.
Yeah.
He's so beautiful.
I mean,
all right,
yeah.
I want to bring up a point. Out of the 2 different season 7 trailers that I watched, 2 characters.
Are there 2?
There's one that I watched that was different than the one that we watched downstairs, and it was supposed to be revealed as well. So I don't know,
At least.
but because the one I watched, the reveal of Shiva the tiger, was in a quick flash of like a bunch of like scenes, like action scenes, all fucking strung together really quick. But in either one of those, there's only 2 characters that I did not see in any new scenes. The only time that they were shown is from season 6 finale, and that's Glenn and Eugene.
Now, okay, how many of you guys have read the comics?
I am
Yeah.
still currently reading comics. Actually, I have the Compendium 2 down there. I'm more than midway through.
I've read the
But I
first 2
know
issues.
what happens.
Yeah, we all know what
I
happens.
don't think we should say it on this podcast. I don't
Spoilers.
we
You're
usually
talking about
say
who
spoilers.
you're talking about who Negan kills in the comics?
Yeah,
I think
The
almost
tiger.
everybody
Everyone
knows
knows.
by this point.
nobody should.
M. Night Shyamalan.
I don't think everyone knows because
Okay, but here's the thing: the character that is killed in the comics, I kind of don't think that they're going to do that in the show because so far they've stuck with some of the big deaths that were in the comics, but sometimes they've changed the characters.
And for the other character, they do have kind of a cop out. They gave themselves a cop out at the end of that trailer,
they did.
though, to where that character is no longer as necessary as he proves to be in the comics. Yeah.
I don't feel like it's going to be the same person from the comic. Because there was already something big that happened in this last season with this certain character that, like, I feel like it would just be...
And they're not, they're no strangers to straying away from what happened or change it. Because Rick should not have a hand.
Rick should have lost a hand a long time ago.
Yeah.
The death of Lori and the baby.
Uh-huh.
Like, the baby dies in the comics.
Fucking, Oh God, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
such a hard panel to look at.
Dude, there's a lot of big differences. The governor was a bit more nasty.
Andrea is Rick's love interest.
Yes, yeah.
It is still up to this day in the comics.
Carol and Tyrese hooked up.
Yep. Yeah, so that, I mean, there's no Daryl whatsoever.
Yeah.
Still,
no
Daryl. They're
No.
still keeping him out of the comics.
And like Beth and some of these other characters.
Yeah, so they're no stranger to flipping the script. So you might have a point there. They might not go the route they went in the comics. But then again, they might. They've done this past season was the closest to any of the comics that any of them have come. With the Negan stuff, with the Andrea being Andrea being run over. Is that what is the name of the town that they're in? Alexandria. That's right.
Yeah.
Alexandria being
Andrea died a few seasons ago, man.
That scene where she won't let go of Carl and he has to cut her hand off, and then Carl gets shot in the face. Right out of the comics. So. So I mean, lately they've been sticking closer to the source material, so it could go either way.
Either way, I'm still super fucking excited.
Oh God, yes, I want it so bad.
I'm still mad when
I want October so bad.
Yes.
October because of that and one of our later discussions. October.
Yes.
Yeah, October is the place to be.
And Halloween.
So I think we're all sufficiently excited for Walking Dead. Well, my youngest son's birthday is Halloween.
Is it?
The 31st, yeah.
Shane's actually a pretty big Walking Dead fan as well.
Yes,
he likes both the Walking Dead shows.
Who's your favorite character?
Honestly, Rick.
Fair choice.
Yes.
I like Daryl, but
I like Abraham. Mother dick. I use that almost on a daily basis.
I think I've been becoming more of a fan of Abraham lately. It's sad that this spoiler I don't mind throwing out there. It's sad that we're gonna lose him.
Yeah.
That's gonna happen.
Well, at some point we're gonna lose pretty much everybody,
more or less. But yeah, I've been becoming more of an Abraham fan than anything. I was really on Rick's side, and then
Rick's been kind of hit and miss with me. Sometimes
these
I'm like,
last couple
Rick.
seasons, up till these last couple seasons, I was all the way Rick.
I loved what was it, season 2? Season 3. The Ricktatorship, yeah. When he was like complete, like, you know what, fuck it, like,
you're gonna listen to
me or get the fuck on. Like, I like that Rick in a way.
That's kind of how he got this last season with Alexandria. He's like, this is our place.
I don't know.
Yeah, but
he got more Shane that's this last season.
Yeah, the way he did it in this last season was just so wild out and like poorly constructed argument. Like
Shane was ahead of his time.
He's telling them, "You're gonna fucking do what I say," but at the same time, he's doing it while he's over top of one of their dads, waving a gun around,
covered in blood.
Covered in fucking blood. Yeah, he's not gonna get very far on that one. But yeah, no, I love the show. I absolutely love both the book and the show. Moving on from that, Kong Skull Island got its first official trailer. My God, this cast. They have just an amazing cast in this thing.
And the trailer,
I was so excited. Out of everybody, John motherfucking Goodman.
Yes.
John Goodman's in there. You got Sam Jackson. We said already Brie Larson is in there.
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston is in there. There was one more. There was one more big name that I can't remember. Some dude.
We need like one of the.
We need a fact checker or something.
I'm going.
Why don't we have one of those?
We don't have
Anyways,
money to pay for it.
It looks so good. They're what are they doing in here? They're uncovering this lost civilization or something.
Yeah, they're talking about like these like creatures, these monsters that predated man, like back in old ancient times.
And John Goodman's character has been trying to prove their existence.
Yeah, for like the last 30 years or something.
Yeah. But
John C. Reilly was the other one.
Oh yeah.
But one of the great things that we see is like one of their copters goes down by getting a giant fucking tree thrown through the windshield.
Through it, yeah.
And then so they're in this jungle and there's these giant bones everywhere.
Yeah, the remains.
But one of the scenes, and I barely caught it. One of them is hiding behind a skull of something, and it's a giant Triceratops skull.
Oh no! Yeah, I saw that. Oh,
and
gnarly.
Which means that we could very possibly get our King Kong versus a giant ass T-Rex in this movie too.
And you know what?
yeah.
Like, people might shout like, "Oh, it's been done. It's been done." I don't care. Do it again.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's been
You
done.
know what? We have fucking 45 goddamn Fast and Furious movies.
Really,
Give me another
though.
fucking Kong.
You know what? In what was it? 1933. The original King Kong came out.
I just heard it.
I think it was
in the
1933.
30s.
When the original came out, like, first of all, they invented ways to shoot this movie, like stuff that had never been done before. And when people saw a friggin' T-Rex fighting a friggin' giant ape, that was astounding. It blew everyone's minds.
33.
Amazing. 33. When they did the remake in 2005
With Jack Black.
with
There's
Jack
actually,
Black.
there's
I
actually,
love that.
there's actually King Kong in between those.
Yeah.
Was there?
70s maybe.
Well, they did a couple sequels. I
1968
think.
it was King of Kong Island.
Oh, okay.
1986 was King Kong Lives.
Yeah, they had a few sequels.
But
they did
King
the
Kong,
Peter Jackson
2005
remake.
King Kong,
And then they did that dinosaur
was a
fight.
76 one called just King
76,
Kong.
68.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
But
They did the dinosaur fight in that one,
They're
and it's
making one every
because the technology, because the way that they could direct it now, it gave them a way better friggin' dinosaur fight. Oh wait, didn't he fight two?
Yeah.
He fought two fucking T-Rexes in that movie.
The thing about this is, and it's the statement has even been made, this is the biggest Kong that we have ever had.
And of course,
visually, you see that in something where he stands up and is blocking the sun.
And of course, they're doing that because we've got Godzilla, they're doing Kong Skull Island, then we get Godzilla 2, and that's going to lead us into King Kong versus Godzilla. And Godzilla's the biggest he's ever been, so they needed to retool Kong for that.
Yes, Bob, you have
I have my hand raised. Here's my thing. In the Kong Skull Island trailer, when John Goodman's talking where he's like, he's been searching for these giant monsters for 30 years. Didn't Godzilla just attack a couple years ago? Like, wouldn't that have made some kind of news or been
maybe
some shit
this
online?
predates.
Okay.
'Cause if you look at their costumes, I think they look.
I don't know. They're in helicopter. They're in Samuel Jackson's wearing the.
They're in pretty.
The only person that kind of
It
looks
could
like
still
could be.
predate it.
Yeah, I mean it could, but.
Yeah. I mean, just by a few months or something, maybe. I don't know.
Because if that's the case, then depending on what happens in this movie, people in the Godzilla movie not hear about this giant fucking ape.
They're in Japan.
So Japan has a jump on everything, dude.
Japan doesn't give a shit what we're up to.
Fucking white people.
But,
Fucking round eyes.
Yeah, I feel like we might get some kind of nod, some kind of tie-in
I hope so.
to them.
Otherwise, it's a little sloppy.
This
but I'll still take it.
Just this one trailer was so visually pleasing and so vibrant and amazing. And
It's everything
giant
you really hoped
fucking
it would
monkey.
It's a giant ape. Okay, moving on to our last bit of news, the last trailer from Comic-Con, Ash vs. the Evil Dead Season 2 trailer. Actually, I think this one came out. This was the one that came out before.
Yeah, that's
Comic-Con.
what we're talking about.
Yeah,
The Red Band trailer.
Yeah, the Red Band trailer. God damn, this is gore fucking tastic.
Yes, it
like
is.
you can't curse enough when explaining this thing.
And there were so many just awesome, ridiculous shots in this trailer.
Well, you got to think where we're coming from. The source material.
Oh,
was
absolutely.
a
That's what I'm
series
saying.
of B
When I
movies.
say over the top, ridiculous shots, I'm not saying that in a bad way whatsoever.
I think
it fits perfectly in this story.
It fits Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, I think,
I love
no, it doesn't just fit Bruce Campbell. It fits the Sam Raimi, Bruce Campbell team.
Yes.
And
Love child
they
that
have
is
never
Evil Dead.
abandoned with Evil Dead. They've never abandoned the schlocky, like weird angles.
Yeah, like Dutch tilts.
unnecessary zooms, and there's that part. What does he say? Where he's got the "We tried peace, now it's time for war."
Yeah.
That was so cheesy. I
Or
loved
when
it.
after he chopped the
It made
woman
me
up at
think-
the end and her head's laying there and she's like, "You're all gonna die." He's like, "Ladies first."
Ladies first. It made me think of that the video on the internet, Catchphrase Jones.
Yeah.
He's just coming up with catchphrase. I see James, but where's the peach? Shit like that, but it's so great. And it's so good that it can be so bad but so awesome at the same time.
Bruce Campbell has a goddamn hand puppet of Bruce Campbell.
Now, from what my brother tells me,
is that tied into the first season?
That's not tied into the other movies or the first
season.
season. But there was something about a hand puppet. I guess this guy got really famous for making this hand puppet and making a bunch of videos on the internet with it. And now they're paying homage to that too.
That's awesome.
There's nothing off the table for Ash and the Evil Dead. And
well, I know that now he has a little a Luke Skywalker robot hand that he attaches on.
Another great thing,
a
lot of people haven't really been pointing a lot of fingers at is that we've said so many names today. Lucy Lawless is a character in the show who at one time played Xena. Which was a show produced by Sam Raimi.
My crush.
But in the comic books, there's a Xena versus Army of Darkness crossover, and they're about to do another one.
I was gonna say, isn't there one coming?
Yeah, they're about to do another one. So I love that because I don't know if she got the job based solely on those principles or if it was really like we think she's perfect for this part.
Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi.
He knows. He fucking knows, dude.
I would absolutely love if at least just for one episode there is a moment where it's Ash versus Xena. Because that would just be great. I mean, they've got the woman there. They've got her. They got Xena. They just gotta pick up the rights to use her once. That's it. Once. I want it. I want to see her in the costume.
Well, from what I've heard, they acquired rights to use the Army of Darkness stuff. I don't know if they're going to do it in this season or not, but
well, yeah, they honestly, like the first season, they only really talk about the cabin and make reference to everything other than Army of Darkness, because you've got Evil Dead, and then you've got Evil Dead 2, which is somewhat of a self-proclaimed remake of the first one. If you watch them, Evil Dead 2 is a remake of the first movie, but for some reason still a sequel.
Yeah.
But they did not talk about Army of Darkness whatsoever. He never talked about it once.
Well,
other than to call it a boomstick. That was the only
because it's owned by somebody different than what Evil Dead
is. It?
That's why there's two separate comics. There's Evil Dead 2 comics, and then there's Army of Darkness comics. The rights are between other people. That's why
I really hope they unfuck that so that they can talk about
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
From what I heard, they at least made like a Marvel Sony type agreement where they're like, all right, you can use this shit. So
I hope so.
I don't know if it's going to be this season or the next, but yeah, from what I've heard, they have rights to use Army of Darkness story.
Yeah, guys, I think we talked about Ash versus Army of Darkness once before.
Evil Dead.
Gave it, yeah.
I think it may have been on the last episode or the episode prior. I know Chelsea wasn't here.
I don't think it was.
I think it was before Chelsea.
No, it wasn't.
No,
It was
I think it was last week.
Yeah, it was
Sure?
2 weeks ago. But
Yeah.
2 weeks ago.
Either way,
know.
cannot suggest this show enough. It is fun. It is hilarious. It is gory. It is foul. It's so it's so terrible and fantastic. And as Ashley Williams himself says, that's all he does.
That's all he does.
So, yeah, go watch that. But guys, I think that was the last topic.
Real quick, do you want to don't go into it real deep? Maybe a 30-second unofficial.
Well, we'll get to that.
Non-sponsor.
But first, we have to pass a little something along to our runner-up contest winner here. If you're not familiar, we did a little giveaway trying to get likes over on the Sorta My Brand page on Facebook.com. You should head over there now and like it. You won't win anything cool this time, but maybe in the future.
I'd say we definitely should throw together something.
Oh, yeah.
Something
There'll
for
be something later.
our fans.
But Shane here did, and Shane here won not only this guest spot, but also 2 comics handpicked by the group. A Timely Comics Carnage book, which collects issues 1 through 3, and a Rebirth Green Arrow one-shot, which was one of the most heralded books of the entire Rebirth line. So thank you very much for liking the page, always commenting, getting involved with us and everything.
And for being there for us for
Thank
at
you
least
for
2
having
years.
me
Through
on
the
your
hard
show.
times,
Yes.
through the dark
Thank you for
times,
the reach
for
around.
letting us call
Take
you
the good,
in the
you
middle
take
of
the
the
bad,
night,
and so-
crying,
and you
drunk.
have back
Thank
to
you for
life.
letting me eat half your sandwich.
Thank you for picking me up today.
Thank you
For
for
this
the pet
podcast.
turtle that you're going to get me in the future.
Yeah, I mean that's the
I'm
big
a
hurdle.
spoiled little thing.
I like
Uh,
turtles.
But yeah, thank you.
As long as you name it Mikey.
And we hope you
I'm
enjoy
gonna name
those.
it Franklin.
I haven't read the Green Arrow one, but I haven't read the
Yeah.
Carnage one either. He's read both of these.
I'm
Yeah,
actually
they're
very
great.
excited on this
Yeah.
Green Arrow
Green
review.
Arrow is
Mhm.
great.
And that
Carnage
Carnage is a
great,
good
too.
Because,
concept.
I mean,
I do know
Carnage
the
is amazing.
concept. So.
Considering I
Pornography is
have
great.
the Flash
Yeah.
review
Bad though,
already,
just saying what's great.
you know,
Sorry, beer.
I
No.
know
Oh,
this
beer.
may not tie in with it or anything like
It
It
that,
doesn't
but
really
it's
tie
just
into it, but Green Arrow has
considering
been
they're like best friends and stuff, you know, it'd be nice. It's nice to add to the collection.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and Green Arrow's been one of the better selling books lately too. So
It's
I
got a
appreciate
great
that.
story to it.
no problem. All right, guys, we're gonna take a moment here to not thank our unofficial non-sponsor, Frontier Communications. Frontier Communications is an internet and television service which will rip you off at any moment in time, given the opportunity. They'll also refuse to tell you what they're charging you for, what they're going to charge you, and may hang up on you if you get mad.
Preacher.
Frontier Communications. They're fucking me. They shouldn't be fucking you.
Those dirty bastards.
Alright guys, so we're going to get out of here, but before we do, go ahead and like I said, like the Sorta My Brand Facebook page, like us on Sorta My Comics where we post news articles all the time, trying to keep you up to date on what's going on in the fandom
Especially
world.
during Comic-Con season.
Oh yeah, well it's been a little tough to keep up with it. Also, you can like the podcast on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music. We're still working on YouTube. Honestly, like my internet situation just keeps getting fucked. It's all on me. So
Thanks, Frontier.
yeah, that's
Fucking Frontier.
my bad.
Also find us on Instagram and
You can find the
Facebook,
podcast on Instagram.
Twitter.
It's Sort of My
Do we-
Podcast on Instagram.
do we have a Twitter?
Yes,
we do.
do.
Does
We have
somebody
Sort of
keep
My
up? Does
Podcast.
anybody
Twitter.
keep up with it?
I post the stuff from Instagram.
Okay.
I
And you
reshare
share
the
it
stuff
straight
on
to
I
that.
think
Okay,
I
that
have
works.
for every page.
Yeah.
Of course you do. That's why you won.
Shane Taylor, our loyal follower.
Yeah.
Or
Um,
one
Lieutenant.
follower.
But if you're interested in checking out anything else, Sort of My Brand, that would be all on the on the YouTube channel. Again, Sort of My Brand, and that's where all of our old shows and new shows eventually will come to. And the Sort of My Brand Facebook page, you can watch our new show, Suge Nights Live, whenever the hell we feel like doing that. And
I feel like we should do another one soon.
yeah. And me and you, I want to get that commentary.
commentary. I am
I'm
down.
be mad.
Huh?
So if y'all don't include me, I'm gonna be mad. I would.
You
love
know
to
what? If you
participate.
want him in on the next one, yeah, we can.
I would love
I want
to
in.
participate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Bring in on the
I
next
wanna-
Suge Nights Live.
I'll
Yeah.
bring snacks.
We'll
Oh,
drop
well,
a
if
whole
you bring
line.
snacks, you can
I'll
Bring
bring
drinks.
snacks. I'll bring,
Bring
all
drinks.
the,
What do you think I mean by
beverages.
Drinks.
What
She
are
needs
the
gummy
drinks?
bears with rum.
You want to
I
go ahead
mean,
and sign off,
gummy
sir?
bears.
Yeah. Guys, thank you very much for listening. Hopefully liking all those pages we just talked about. My name is Vin the Human, Vincent Herman.
Chelsea Watkins, Chell Razor.
Bob Collins, Boba Fett.
James Odle, Alpha Spectre.
And our very special guest.
Shane Taylor.
And cue that badass outro music.